Now, what up? going to be that time. We are at halftime of Auburn's NCAA Tournament tilt with the Yale Bulldogs, a game that has been rough and tumble a bit. Hi, my name's Jay. I'm the publisher / Commodore at auburnsports.com, as you see with my little Chiron graphic, whatever it is. The big story so far has been Chad Baker-Mazara got a flagrant 2 for kind of elbowing a dude in the chest as they were running down full court, and he got a flagrant 2 and ejected. I think that was 5 minutes into the game. And for me, I looked up the definition of what a flagrant 2 is, and it's basically violent conduct. Brazen conduct, and there's just no way you can tell me that was violent, brazen conduct. Now, two things, as I said this on the bunker, two things can be true at the same time. CBM's got to knock that shit off, and it was not violent conduct, and therefore was not a flagrant 2 foul. I mean, there was no intent to injure the kid. I mean, come on. You're having to put a really, really long tail on that kite if you're trying to say he was trying to injure the kid, but whatever. So Auburn is up. Here, let's go to our main page here, guys and gals, if there's more than one. Our main page right now, 41-34 at halftime, probably a tighter margin than most of us would have expected. I certainly expected Auburn to be up more, but with Chad out, Chad is a really tough guy to replace because Auburn doesn't really have another Chad Baker-Mazara. We're talking about like a slinky, fast, attacking wing. Your backup wing is Simo, and that's not really what he's bringing you. And so you're having to play some games and shift some things around and be creative. And I think you'll see Chaney there a little bit, Denver there a little bit, Simo there more than you would expect. So they're just going to have to kind of rewire what they're doing and continue to grind this game out. I want to take a look at the box score real quick, which I have pulled up right there. A couple things really stand out to me on this. Auburn has 4 assists on 15 made buckets, which is really not a formula for success for them. They typically are a team that shares the ball really well, pass the ball very well, and they're not really doing that right now. 4 assists and 5 turnovers is just not the kind of relationship with those two numbers you would expect to see when Auburn is playing well. So 4 and 5 to me is essentially a disaster. But there's 7 assists and 9 turnovers, so it's not like Auburn is really affecting them. They like to go to Danny Wolf, their big 7-foot center, and he's 1 of 8 from the floor right now. He's being harassed and harangued everywhere he goes. I thought there was a funny moment there late in the first half where they were about to inbound the ball, Yale was, and KD was defending Danny Wolf, KD at 5'10 or 5'11, whatever he is really, and the guy's 7 feet tall. KD's up to here, and he's kind of like jabbing at him in the gut, and the dude just looking down at him like, what are you doing? It's like, hey, man, that's KD. Let's see. Renard saying J-Will got to produce. I have to agree. J-Will's going to be one that steps up a little bit in this chasm created by Chad being out of the game. And, again, I strongly, vehemently disagree with that decision. I think that's horrible. I am not someone who gives refs trouble. I very rarely give them trouble, and I usually side with them, but I just don't see how I don't see how you can conclude that. You can also be mad at CBM for a strange decision-making. He loves doing this. He loves playing these little games. It's never been for a flagrant 2 before, though. And I didn't agree with it. I just didn't agree with it. I didn't like it. I don't condone it. Auburn doing some other things well, though. Auburn is shooting well from the floor, 15 of 30, 3 of 10 from 3. So that means from 2, what are they, 12 of 20? I mean, they'll take that all day long. You'd like to see them shooting 60, 70% from 2. I think there's a big advantage there with Janai Broom, which I didn't expect necessarily with their 7-foot center, but he's been better than they are. And, just losing Chad hurts, man. We've talked before on the show about how Janai is the star of the team. He's the best player, but I think Chad is the most difficult to replace because there's not a plug-and-play. I mean, when Janai goes out, you can put Dylan in there. Is Dylan as good as Janai? No, he's not, but he gives you that toughness, that rebounding, that he can switch defensively, and he's gotten to this year where he can score a little bit. So, I mean, you can kind of plug-and-play that. But, man, there's no plug-and-play for Chad. So, CJ asked if I got a soundbite. Guess what? I sure did. Let me get the sound effect pane pulled up, make sure I get that sounded good.
Splash.
That's the Chris Smooth splash we were talking about. Number 20 helped me get that set up for this show, and I'm very fired up. We will use that hopefully judiciously, but several times during the second half. As Auburn starts splashing a little bit from three-point range, that ought to be fun. GW says CBM needs to quit doing stupid stuff. It's part of who he is, but your point is well taken, and I think you're onto something there. He is known for getting into shenanigans like this. It's part of who he is. He likes to get under the opponent's skin. KD likes to get under people's skin, but he does most of his or all of his really with his mouth. CBM likes to kind of poke and prod a little bit physically, and he got called on one there. I disagree with the call, but you're just creating a situation where they're gonna want to call that on you, right? So, when BP was asked about it in the middle of the game by the sideline reporter, his answer was, I wasn't sure how he was going to take that, and he kind of was like, he didn't want to say one way or another, but I think he knows, and I think he's going to have some choice words for CBM after this game, whether they win or lose. He's just got to be like, dude, you've got this. We cannot do this. And Chad is a smart kid. He knows that he's screwed up, and I think you'll see a better version of Chad in the next game, assuming there is a next game. He is a rascal. He is rambunctious, but he's not a dipshit. And he's not just some lunatic idiot. He's playing a game, and he went too far, and he opened himself up to that. And I again disagree with the call, but whatever. Cassidy P. First of all, Cassidy P. did super chat us earlier. Thank you, brother. In addition to all the great stuff you've been doing off the board, getting us ready for our Atlanta Bourbon Bash that's coming up in less than 2 weeks now. Says need to take it to the rack. Go right at number 3. I agree. Get in there, and they don't want to defend at the rack, and Auburn's too strong there, and so just take the advantage that you have there and push it, maximize it, and I think that's what you're trying to say, and I'm with you 100%, brother. War Eagle JF says, JG, thoughts on that Yale sweater? I don't know which one you're talking about. Is it the blue one with the white letters? I'm not sure. Locked On says, we'll pull this out. Auburn's playing horribly and still beating them on their A game. I agree. Nick A., good point. I hadn't even thought that far ahead. CBM comeback tour begins with his former team. He did spend, I think, 2 seasons with the Aztecs or San Diego State, at least one, where he was 6th man of the year in his league. He also played at Duquesne, interestingly. He started out at Duquesne. Wizard D says, Chad Baker-Mazara did not like getting hit in the throat, so he bumped a player and got the flagrant 2. That is something that BP brought up on the telecast, and I didn't see that myself. I just didn't see it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. BP seemed to think that it did, and he asked that they had reviewed that, and I think they rejected him based on the fact that that wasn't being adjudicated. That particular confrontation wasn't. So, kind of a tough one on that. Let's see. Kyle says, I bet Yale's scout included provoking Baker-Mazara to get a flagrant. It's probably true. I think there's something to that. But, you got to think about it this way. When you're a player, it's common, it's frequent that you think about, what am I good at, what am I bad at? Normally you're thinking about dribbling to your right, shooting to your right. You want to force a guy to his left. You want to bump a guy, whatever. You don't necessarily think about behavioral traits, idiosyncrasies. But CBM's got to think about that and say, hey, I am an emotional player and I can get baited, and you got to chill. So, Gene says it's all over Twitter. You will see the Yale hit. Okay, very good. I figured BP wasn't talking out of his ass. He's not one to do that. So, when we're done with our stream, I will take a look at that at some point for sure. By the way, we are drinking today, of course. Nothing wrong with a little Friday Bev. I pulled out this Weller 12 that my man Chris H., but not the Chris H. who lives across the street, got for me and gave to me. He's absolutely 100% a legend. He lives here in Montgomery. He is a wealth management legend, and he hooked me up with this. And so we're going to sip on this Weller 12. I also have some Rebel barrel strength. Well, they call it cask strength. I thought that would have been appropriate with CBM being the Rebel that he is. The Damon Duval of modern-day Auburn basketball. That we could drink to him as well. So we'll start off with that for Chad Baker-Mazara. We talked earlier some things that were going well for Auburn. First of all, Auburn has kept its wits about it with Chad getting ejected like that. And Auburn has shot the ball pretty well. The rebounding margin is 0 right now, which it surprises me. I feel like Auburn should have, an advantage there. And also points in the paint, Auburn's up 10, which you would expect. Points off turnovers, Auburn's up 11, which surprises me a little bit. But Auburn is absolutely maximizing that situation. Second chance points is an area where I thought Auburn would have a bigger advantage, only 2 points at this point. And bench, you figure Auburn's going to win that one almost every single game. So some of their usual statistical footprint is there. The one that they're missing really is having any kind of rebounding advantage against a team that I think they should be out rebounding. And then the number that I brought up at the very beginning, which is the assist to turnover ratio relative to the number of buckets. 15 buckets and 4 assists is just not. There's teams out there where that would be a relationship in those numbers and you wouldn't give a shit at all. Like Creighton, that does a lot of ISO stuff, but Auburn is not like that. Auburn, really Jay Will's the only person that does a lot of ISO. So you'd expect them to have 60%, 65% of their buckets, or maybe even higher, associated with an assist. So you're going to want to see, I'll tell you what, U256 is, damn it, JG, we were on a win streak with the Eagle River. Well, guess what? I've got it right here, Big Daddy. So maybe we'll just continue on that. I've got a lot of choices. We'll put it that way. We've got a lot of choices. Nick says, JG, did you see what CBM tweeted? So I saw a thread on the bunker that CBM had tweeted, and then when I got in there, and it was like 2 minutes after it had started, the tweet had been removed. So I didn't get a chance to see what Chad had tweeted, presumably from the locker room. What was it, guys? Those of you who saw it. What did you see? Scotty P says, I think you can see that in the chat right there on the screen. Officials were keying on Chad after the technicals he's been getting lately. I agree, JG. Both things can be true. Not ejection worthy, but dumb. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. I just cannot imagine a world where what he did is a flagrant 2. It's not. It's a flagrant 1 or just a common foul. There was no violent conduct. There was no intent to injure. And he could do that to 50 people, including my mother, and they wouldn't be injured. And my mother lays in a bed most days. She's 80 years old. So, I mean, come on now. There's just no way. I'm like Michael Jordan. There's no way you're going to convince me that it wasn't an asshole. Show me whatever you want. Tyler asks, have you had any Detling? Need to send a few samples. If not, I have. The Detling, I think I've seen 2 in my store. They have kind of a light brown top. It looks kind of like Texas Longhorns color. And they have a dark one that's like a chocolate top. I've had 2 bottles of that chocolate top stuff, and I swear it's really good. It's one of my favorites, honestly. Probably one that I would focus on maybe after dinner because it is so flavorful and sweet to me. It is delish. Shockingly dark, too. Shockingly dark to me. But anyway, we're back going again. Let's get back over to our main page and pick this bad boy up at 41-34, taking over in the second half. Janai burrowing his way, just as we were talking about earlier, to try to get in there. I don't think that they have the firepower to repel Janai and Jalen in the post. We cannot repel firepower of that magnitude, as General Akbar said in Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi? Yes, Return of the Jedi. That's what it was. I just think Janai's too big and too skilled. I am looking forward, hopefully, we have a Auburn-San Diego State game on Sunday, and I would really like to see him and Jaden Ledee go at it. Those are 2 dudes that are really good at what they do. Jaden's a little more physical, maybe, than Janai, but they both are absolute operators near the post, man. I'm telling you, they really bring it, and they're fun to watch, both of them. 43-34 is where we're at. Hey, Neil Jay's in the house. The Welshman period on the bunker. Oh, wow, that's a long three right there for Yale. Got to give him the 3-point bump there. There we go. Neil says, Auburn depth to prove critical as the game goes on. Yale to run out of steam and Auburn to win by 18. Thoughts? I would take it. I don't know. I like watching Aiden like pleading with the ball to go in right there. I like that. I think that's possible. I think they are going to wear this team down, but it hadn't happened yet. Oh, Janai getting beat by that dude is surprising a little bit, but it happens sometimes. Tyler says, I get that. The dark brown top is a single barrel. The orange is a bottle and bond. Outstanding. That South Alabama heat, and he rebarrels a lot, so it gets dark. It sure is good. Me and Cuz from across the street, we love drinking Detling. I think he kind of favors that light orange one, which is good to me too. I just prefer the dark one. But yeah, I buy that. It's a little expensive for me at $70 in my ABC, but I will. I've had two. I've bought 2 bottles, and I will continue to buy more. I love drinking Alabama made and not Clyde Mays. All right, Aiden trying to get posted up there, and he's defending it well. It's actually a dude that he's not getting outsized on, so that's nice. Terrence says, is anyone concerned about Kentucky stealing Pearl? We were talking about this earlier. Me, Jason Caldwell, B-Matt. I think Jay Lee was in there for that one, too. We were at Pro Day earlier today, which really went well, by the way. I really enjoyed it. Jalen Simpson performed really well. Zion performed really well. Oh, another bucket from Yale, and he's talking that shit. Well, when you hit one, you can do that. So it's now 42-43. It's tightening up just a little. Okay, a lot, but you know what I mean. So if they were going to run, I think they're going to owe, if they fire Calipari right now, they owe him something between $30 and $35 million just for that buyout. And then whoever they get, they're going to have to pay for that person's buyout, plus they're going to have to hire the person at a very high rate of pay. And I don't know if Kentucky is ready to commit $60 to $70 million for a change in leadership at the basketball program. And I don't know that BP, as much as we appreciate his excellence at Auburn, I'm not sure he's universally adored by administrators. I think some people look at BP and still think there's a dark cloud over him. I think it's a preposterous situation. He's been at Auburn for 10 years, and he has proven himself beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's Gucci. Tyler says Clyde Mays is Indiana stuff right now. Opening their own new still soon, though. Yeah, down in Troy, Alabama is the chatter. I have not seen it. I will go down there when they're opening because I like supporting local. But and I know Detling is Lower Alabama as well. So let's see. Spicy Pieces, no offense, but no one gives a shit about Kentucky right now. There's a game on. I completely agree. I don't really want to talk about them. I did laugh at them heartily last night, and I really appreciate, first time in my life I've ever said this, I appreciate DM8 on the bunker last night. He was moving stuff over from Rups Rafters to our board, and I was enjoying it quite a bit. People were absolutely melting down. All right, 43-43. Got to bear down. And Chaney was wide open, but they're pressuring Janai so badly. Well, Auburn had a nice little lead there to evaporate pretty quickly. MW Duncan, just chill out, brother. Don't sit around anticipating a choke job. No need to do that. Got a long way to go, and it's going to be pressurized. Oh. Wait, I thought he got tripped. Janai definitely tripped. Did he trip on himself? It could have been. I don't know. Auburn pressing to slow down just so they don't have to defend in half court, but they let it go pretty easily. A lot of minutes for Simo here, as you would expect, with Chad out. It really hurts them offensively. Simo will give you some good defense now. He's not a huge liability on this end of the floor. Yeah, I don't know about that call right there. Hey, brother. Rob says, hey, brother. There's August Mahoney. Sounds like a Dick Tracy villain. Damn you, August Mahoney. He broke into the bank again and stole $500 in cash. August, I'm going to pray for you, brother. I don't know why you didn't choose Auburn. It changed my life. I like that shot there, that cinematography between the pom-poms. Sorry you missed the shot, though, bro. It happens sometimes. Terrence says, Yale is flopping to the extreme. He rocks a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance. Terrence, you could have written that bar, bro. All right, Yale's ahead now, 44-43. I think Auburn's only had one scoring possession this half, which is not ideal. Had a turnover in the last possession. Oh, don't do it. Don't you do it. Okay, good. They call a charge on that? All right, that's fair. That's a fair call. Jaden Ledee loves doing that right there, though. They better get ready to call that in the next game. He was getting real physical with that big dude from UAB, and they called, 2 fouls and 2 possessions against that poor guy? He wasn't even doing anything. Brock O, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? I'm just watching this game and trying to see if the Auburn Tigers are going to get themselves straightened out. Oh, that was a nice pass. Oh, what a block from Janai, too. Did he block that, or was that just lost? You know what's going to happen here. Slow it down, guys. You're good. You're Gucci. Auburn's got an advantage here on the scoring end. They just got to tap into it. There you go. Janai in an advantageous position. Got fouled. I wish he could have finished that. Oh, he got hit in the nuts. Guys, shit. You don't want to grab him too bad, but yes, he did block that. Boy, the Sanford dude from last night is like, golly, why don't you leave me alone on that call? Shoosh. Whale Driver says, I swear we're beating ourselves. You're 100% true on that, brother. 100% true on that. I think Auburn's the biggest problem for Auburn right now. I'm going to try to get a second half box up here. You guys know I love looking at second half boxes during the second half. I don't really care what happened in the first half anymore. Yesterday's news, guys. August Mahoney. I can't get over that name. Yeah, I would like for your daughter to come on. Yeah, I'm dating a guy named August. I'm like, what the fuck? Sweetie, there was nothing better? There was no Evans or Johnny's or Steve's? It had to be August? Well, he was really nice, and he's on the basketball team. Okay, well, sounds great. All right, here's the second half box. You can see not so good for Auburn. 10 points for Yale, 2 for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn 0 for 3 from the floor. One board, they have 3. Auburn has 0 assists on the no buckets. 2 turnovers. Jeez. Still very early. Not a lot you can glean from such a clean box like that, but 10-2 is the number that sticks out. Damn. 2 turnovers in 4 possessions or something like that? 6 possessions. How about that? 6 possessions this half. 0 buckets scored. I'm with you, Whale. But we've been talking about this all. Oh, jeez, Jay. We're talking about this all year, man. I feel like there's times when it seems obvious to me, go to Janai, and they don't really do that. They just kind of flow. They flow. Auburn's kind of a flow team. And when in doubt, their flow doesn't usually go to Janai. Let's see. Brock wants to know who will they play if Auburn wins. That would be, as CJ said, San Diego State beat UAB today in a pretty close game, honestly. So that would be on Sunday. Is what we'd be looking at. Brocko. Tim the Toolman Taylor says San Diego State is going to be hard on us. San Diego State is a very good defensive team, and they love banging. Particularly Jaden Ledee is think of like Tolu Smith, who's himself very much a banger. He's like that, except he's better. That's a nice pass right there for Yale. Just good basketball, but an even better block from Janai, and it's 100% legit. He didn't touch anything but the ball. Damn, I thought this game would be a little more separated by now. James Taylor says, yeah, at Yale, we usually say, that's all right. That's okay. You will work for us one day. That's a good chant. I like that. I don't work for any people from Yale, but that's cool. Some people do, I'm sure. I've been there once. Went by there many years ago. I liked Harvard a lot better than Yale. One man's opinion. Although New Haven's pretty cool. Boston's way cooler. No, Trey's there. No, I didn't finish, though. Oh, are you going to talk some shit now? This is the wrong guy to talk shit to, brother. That is the wrong guy to talk shit to right there. You get a bucket and you start staring down KD on the floor. That's a bad idea. I thought Auburn had that covered nonetheless. Nice finish, though. Wow. All right. Break. All right, 46-45. I'll get this updated here real quick. I can't do it exactly on time, but I'll try to keep up as best I can with the score. We're just doing its usual high screen stuff. Pretty usual. There's that little midline screen. J. Will with a splash. My bad. I had that score mixed up right there. All right, now it's accurate. Boy, Simo playing a bunch of minutes right now. He'll give it to you on the defensive end now. Oh, he fell down there. Oh, my God, Dylan. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, KD wanted to go to the hole right there. It's probably for the best that he didn't do that, though. I think they're just running open right now, which is just kind of a motion concept. KD wanted that shot. You know he did. Oh, Dylan. He's got to go up with two hands on that. It's a push off. He's got to go up with two hands right there. Niels' broom got whacked in the knackers. I'm not sure what that... Oh, you mean nutsack. Yeah. Don't look like a small target, to be fair. He was like grabbing right above his knee. It's true. Another foul? Just got to keep your wits about you. It's all good. It's all good. Remember that New Mexico State game was pretty tight, 19 too. Tight-ass game. Mississippi State coach Chris Jans was running that team at that time. Good defense from Simo on the out-of-bounds play right there. I will go. I tell you what, AU 256. If you're still there, I'm going to go switch to the Eagle Rare and see how that affects things. Yeah, we'll see how that affects things. Maybe that'll get things going. Wait a minute now. What was that foul? They're trying to say he was holding? Terrence, I'm with you, brother. I don't understand that decision there. Oh, I don't know, man. Oh, wow. He got hit. The foul is that Simo got hit. Illegal receiving of hit. You received a blow. That's a foul. Like, what? What? If they make a movie out of this Yale team someday, they ought to get Mahershala Ali to be the head coach. He looks just like him. All right, 48-46. Trey. Oh, my God.
Splash.
Little alley-oop from Aiden to Jay Will for the flush. And that's the kind of stuff I think Auburn can do, take advantage of them. Yale's really trying to pressure the ball a little bit right now. They don't really have the personnel to do it, but they're trying it anyway, which Denver hit that, big boy. Oh.
Splash.
Nice little surge there. Alley-oop from Aiden to Jay Will, and then on the next possession, then you got a miss from Yale, which was rebounded perfectly by Auburn. Everybody had boxed out, and then right on down, and Denver hits a three. So that's a 5-point swing like that, and it gets the order reestablished in this game. Spicy P does note that they're already in the bonus for the next foul because Auburn's been a little foul-y. Although, to be fair, that one against Simo was a little bit of bullshit on that one. Let me get this second half box pulled up again. Takes just a second for me to run it. Man, what a game so far. What a game. What a game. All right. There we go. All right, moving over to our box score page. There it is. All right, so when we pulled it up last time, it was Yale 10, Auburn 2. Now it's Yale 12, Auburn 12. So that's a little bit of a change there. Auburn, let's see, 3 assists to 2 turnovers. I don't love the relationship of those numbers, but it's 3 assists on 3 buckets, and it's a hell of a lot better than 0 and 2. So Auburn's made some progress since our last break. Auburn now 3 of 7 from the floor. They're 4 of 7 from the floor, 4 rebounds each. I believe it was 3-1 last time we checked in. So that was a really good segment for the Auburn Tigers. Made up a lot of ground on the score sheet, and also some of the secondary or tertiary, some would say, statistical markers are starting to trend in Auburn's favor a little bit. So, yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Whale Driver says the foul right before the block should have been a jump ball. I can see that argument for sure. Terrence says the only BS I will call is if they suspend CBM for multiple games. I don't think that's how it works. I mean, the only way that would happen is if he was like literally beating a man's ass on the court. There's no way. He already got way over punished for what he did. So I think they're good. If anything, he should get an apology, my opinion. Gus Bus says calling these fouls on Auburn is the closest these refs will ever get to being affiliated with the Ivy League. I like that. That's pretty funny. I like that right there. Neil Jones says his cousin Denver is getting hot. He sure has, man. He's been playing so much better the last, 8 to 10 games. He's definitely got some. Man, is that who I think it is? Get the fuck out of here. Let's go Charleston. My sister went to Charleston. Lemmy Kilminster. That's the grandson of the lead singer, or former lead singer, I should say, of Motorhead. I'm kidding. He's probably not related to him. I was just making that up. But it would be cool if it was true. If your granddad was Lemmy Kilminster, oh, my God. It'd be amazing. All right, Yale back on the attack, so such as it is. Oh, my God. Their center is trying to drive against 2 Auburn Tigers. And they're going to call one on KD there. GW says technical foul on JGT for having good hair today. Thank you, sir. I'll take it. What is this dude like? Is he like a soul patch right here? Or what? Is it just lighting? What is going on there? He needs to do something about that if it's hair. All right, so they have now missed the front end of 2 1-1s. I reckon they're going to be in the double pretty soon. Let's see, sticking with Trey for this next segment. I think this is the same group he just had out there. So maybe he was thinking he would go until the 12-minute mark with this group and then shift. Oh, Trey almost got stuck in the air there. Jalen from deep. That's pretty deep even for him. Deflection surprised Trey there. It kind of went off his face out of bounds. Neil Jones says, Lemmy, the absolute legend. He was the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Hell yeah, that guy. A true rock and roller. Steven says Auburn has only 17 fouls. Is that for the game? I don't know. Personal fouls. It is 18-11. But again, I want to say, yeah, there's been some kind of crazy calls in this game, a few, but Yale's driving more than Auburn is. Auburn is not necessarily a driving team, with the exception of KD. They're more of a jump shooting team, and so they're not going to draw a whole ton of fouls doing that. See, like that move right there, but I'm going to give it one of those.
Splash.
Little, what was that, 3-pump chump, and dropped a little baby hook over homie for Jalen. I like that. I'm going to try to post up Denver. I took that personally. Oh, what a shot. Give him credit, man. That was nice. I thought the defense was really good right there. Put up a parabolic jumper from about 16 over Denver there. And he's going to want to get him back. What's the call here? Okay, it looks like that. Is that going to be the media timeout? This is a sweet little deal right here. Little triple cask finish. Splash. 55-48. Newman, who I suspect is somewhere close to the action today, says, let's go. Yes, sir. What else do we have to adjudicate here at this point? We can run through some of these statistical game-long statistical markers. Actually, I will just go quickly to the second half. For Auburn. Auburn is shooting 4 of 9 from the floor. In the second half, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 boards, and they have 5 boards. So, but we've only had like 1 minute of play since our last check-in on stats, so it's not really a big change. Some of the main numbers for the entire game: total rebounds, Auburn's +1 right now. Points in the paint, Auburn is +8. Fast break points, Auburn is +1. A little surprising there. Auburn still only has 7 assists on 19 buckets right now, which, again, is just really weird. But it's been better in the second half. They have 3 assists on 4 buckets in the second half, so they're paying a little more attention to it. But they had 2 turnovers in their first 4 possessions, and since then, in their last 8 possessions, they have 0 turnovers. So they have definitely cut off that sieve. And they're working on that. I think BP just told them, I mean, the easiest way to lose a game you shouldn't lose in the NCAA tournament is to turn the ball over a bunch, I think. And this team can handle the ball. This is not a team that is prone to waves of turnovers. We have seen that in the past from Auburn teams, but not this Auburn team. This Auburn team, in ordinary time, is giving up 7, 8, 9 turnovers a game. Knuman says only suspect. Wasn't trying to, go too deep into the facts and figures, but I suspect you have a very good view of the action. They're in Spokane, Washington, just outside of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Cincy Blitzboard, my man, Nick, Pipe Layer Nick says, 3-pump chump, stop talking shiz about me, Jay. I shall, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Amanda more than anything, but I'm sorry for saying that to you, bro. Excuse me, Daphne. My bad. Daphne is what I meant. That's what I meant. We did go to J-Dub's. For those of you who watch the show, J-Dub has been on our show before. Went to his 50th birthday party the other night. And as you would expect, there was a lot of beer there. A lot of beer consumed. And there was some beer gifted. There was also some bourbon gifted. I believe I saw some tequila gifted. It's a good time had by all. And I also want to give some grief to my man Riley H., last name redacted. He works at Auburn University in a role that I'm not going to go into. And he said that my friends watch this show. Uh-oh.
Splash.
Janai with a contested bucket inside. She probably got fouled, but whatever. He still gets the 2. Riley said his friends watch the show, but insinuated that he doesn't. So, kiss my grits, Riley. Maybe you'll watch this, homie. Oh, that was a nice little move. Chaney, he was competitive in that, but ultimately did not get his hand on the ball. 50-57. 5:18 Central Time right now. Denver, I thought he was going to just pull right there. All right, they're going to double the post. That means your backside guy's wide open. He just got the ball to him, but it was a terrible pass. Simo.
Splash.
Hey, we'll just do the splashes for threes now, I guess, okay? That's my bad. I told you I was going to try to be judicious with it. I love the Chris Smooth soundbite. That was a terrible throw. I mean, it was a good look from Janai. It was a bad execution on the pass. Oh, damn. But Simo was so open that he was able to. I saw Ryan Powell right there. Auburn graduate Ryan Powell, I should add. He's working the scores table as part of the Summit League, I think. Yeah, the pass was really low, but he had so much time, Simo did, to kind of get right and hit the 3. He don't hit a lot of threes either, so that was big. Of course, they get a foul 25 feet from the bucket. It happens. Poppy Clan is in the hizzle. What's up, bro? I'm going to give you an applause. I'm glad to see you here, bro. He says, yo, Commodore, let's put these Bulldogs down. Yeah, hell yeah. It's about time, bro. It's going to be that time. Newman says, happy birthday, J-Dub. Glad to appreciate that. If J-Dub, he might be listening from the office. I don't think he'd be like, watching it carefully. He's got a lot of work going on right now, but. Pocket says, glad that Newman could join us from right behind the bench in Spokane. I love that. That was really subtle, man. I was trying to not give away his sound, but yeah. I give away his site. Tell you where he was. Don Properdick coming to us from Maastricht, Holland. Says, new sound button's got that stank. I'm going to take that as a compliment. You should. I will. I thought Ashley was going to be a woman. I love women. Woo! I'll take that as a compliment. I am. That's why my name's on the GD building. Watching that clip the other day from Eastbound and Down. Hilarious. It's hilarious. Ashley Schaefer BMW. That's why my name's on the building. All right, Janai front rimmed that first of 2. Auburn's still up 9. Hit the second. 61-51. We got about 10 minutes to go. Auburn seems to have stabilized for the moment. I got a text from Newman. Yes, I did see Ryan. He's sitting there front row with the glasses on. He looks very professional. Toolman says, as a Riley myself, Rileys are generally fine people. I do indeed like Riley. The Riley H. that I was referencing earlier, but I didn't like his, my friends watch the show, goober. Yeah, you could too if you wanted to. Doofus. All right, 53 for the Yale Bulldogs now on a nice little drive. Auburn kind of in patient mode. I would say a patient mode. Well, kind of a stagger screen there inadvertently. I think Denver, that was a nice behind-the-back pass. A nice finish, dude. That was sweet. An inadvertent stagger screen from Denver when he tripped and almost fell. Tripped and stumbled. Hey, there it is. 68,000 viewers. Pipe Player Nick says 69K and a super chat and $25 off for a Blitzboard. My man. My Blitzboard is right here at all times. It's a great drinking game where you roll dice, try to put them in the hole. And when you do, you get to advance your marker across the board. And it's really just a drinking game, but it's more fun. It's kind of a thinking man's drinking game, if you will. Of course, I just sit here and drink. That's one way to do it. Their 7-foot center just put up a 3, and he hit it. How dare you? That's Janai's move. That's what Janai does. He has that trademark, not you. So a 10-point lead goes to a 5-point lead pretty quickly right there. Janai says, I'm going to take this dude. Take him to the hole. He's getting double-teamed. Excellent dish. That's where Janai is. That's the most underrated part of his game. He has improved in that manner so much, his passing, because it became clear earlier this season that people were going to try to pin him down on the baseline and double-team him, and he was getting kind of messed up by that. But now he's just so calm and he's difficult to rattle in that situation. So he just makes a really calm pass. Chaney knows where to go. Get right on the block. He's going to be unguarded somewhere on that backside and put it in for the easy one. Denver.
Splash.
Boy, just as I say, it dropped down to 5 quickly. It jumped back out to 10 very quickly. And it drops back down to 7 quickly. Wow, these teams are really shooting it out now. It's an old-fashioned shootout. Hey, now. Terrence is transfer portal candidate. I love it. Thanks for liking the stream, Terrence. Appreciate you being here, brother. You're good people. Good folks. Wizard D, why are we so slow walking the ball up the court? I think it's more just about just getting this time down. It's such a grindy game. I think it's to Auburn's advantage to just slow it down. Rarely you say that because Auburn's usually a running type team. But I don't know. It seems like this team feels different out here without Chad. It seems more grindy. So 68-61 at 6:32 mark. Anytime there's a 3, CJ, we're going to do that. Or maybe a particularly impactful bucket, like if it was close or whatever. Terrence says SEC has sucked this tournament. Well, Tennessee's been good. Kentucky was ass. Mississippi State was ass. South Carolina was ass. The Auburn Tigers are not ass. Although they just gave up a bucket, but whatever. Is it 60? I think it's 60. Yeah, there's been some big 61, my bad. There's been some big L's taken by the SEC. There's no doubt about that. Don't want that. I don't want that. Leave me alone. Okay. Go away. Jeez, I don't want to do that. Gotta get the score right. Jeez. All right. Yeah, Terrence, you're right, dude. He says Chad is a big piece for us. Like I said, he's difficult to replace. There's not a plug-and-play guy for him. So when he goes down, or he's not hurt, but when he's out, I mean, it's bad. I'm going to go ahead and text Dr. J-Head and see if he can jump on with us. We'll see if he's able to do that. 61. I got you, Madison. 61-68 is the current situation. Steven says that Florida is also trailing the Colorado Buffaloes. Wow, that's crazy. A Whale Driver says it feels like a one-possession game with all the lead changes. It does feel that way to me, too. It feels tighter than it's been. It seems like in this second half, every time that Yale has kind of made a push, Auburn has made a bigger push to get it backed out, get it spread back out. Similar to what Washington State was doing to Drake yesterday. Last night I was watching that game because Miles, the point guard for Washington State, played high school ball with Jabari back in the day. He's a great story. He had lymphoma and got treatment for it. He's actually a redshirt freshman right now, 22 years old, and he's a freshman for Washington State. But he had Miles Rice's name, and he played great last night. Big-time player. Love watching him play. Madison thinks the ejection was terrible. I think we all agree on that. There's no argument on this. I think the people the Yale fans are probably shocked by how bad of a call that was. Now, I don't necessarily watch a ton of Florida, but is Handlogton being out, does it really affect them a bunch? I thought he was kind of like a backup 10 minutes per game dude. But Florida, I mean, they got to the SEC final, but they kind of got punked in that game. But I figured it was because Handlogton, I mean, Auburn's better, but Handlogton getting hurt is just a real jarring thing, you know, for him, obviously, and then for the team, too. Poppy Clan says we missed the Hebrew hammer, $1 to dog, the Hebrew hammer. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is Lior was playing great when he got hurt, but I think Simo's played, he stepped it up in that place. Simo gotten demoted, if you want to call it that, to the 11th spot. And then with Lior getting hurt out for the season with the knee injury, it moves Simo back up to the 10th spot. There's Ryan Powell right there, Auburn graduate Ryan Powell in the blue and the gray jacket. I think Simo's really stepped up his game here in the last 2 weeks, a week and a half. So, Spicy P with a statement that would have rang true in November, just as it is today. We have to quit fouling. As Coach Sonny would say, we got to defend without fouling. Ole Miss. Yale has missed a lot of free throws today, particularly here in the second half. I bet they're 50%, and that's made a difference. All right, got Aiden back out there. Oh, Jalen just lost that ball for no apparent reason. That was not even close. Whew, man. Let's see. Steven says, I called Florida losing. Colorado has a big man named Lampkin. That is a matchup problem similar to DJ Burns from NC State. Terrence said, I would call in, but I'm drunk right now, so I would make a jackass of myself. Well, I'm not, but I'll still make a jackass of myself. It's one of those games. Their center's going to try another three, and he's almost going to hit iron. He may have actually just grazed iron. His last two, he hit a three, and then his last two shots from three have been really bad. If I was their coach, I'd be like, bro, no. Kanuma notes that Ryan is wearing an orange and blue tie. I did not notice that. I should have. All right, 5:41. You're getting to a point now where if Auburn could get a couple possessions, and get this lead out to 72, 62 or something like that, like you could almost just start to kind of give them the figure four leg lock and just kind of choke them out, just slow it down even beyond where it already is. Poppy Clan says they're getting all the 50-50 balls. Well, Trey just got one right there. Man, I had a super chat earlier that I missed. It's embarrassing. Cassidy P says, Janai's second half line greater than the Yale's starter net worth. Hey now. Janai's really good. Yale's missing some shots. That might be, that might have been off Dylan, but it's not. It is not. Thank you for the super chat, Cassidy P, and I'm sorry that I missed it when it came out. That's my bad. Poppy says Donaldson needs to play the rest of this game. Aiden has been dreadful today. Aiden just seems tight. That's the problem with Aiden. He gets tight sometimes. Looks like Poppy Clan, he heard you. Put Trey back in there for this very important stretch. And Trey immediately goes for a ambitious pass and misses it. Stephen Pearl's about to have a stroke. Do you know what he's telling him right now? He called a fucking play, which was fist, and then Trey did not run fist. And I bet you he told him, run the fucking play, and he didn't run it. That's what I think happened right there. I could be just narrating stuff. I don't know. But I know that that's the kind of thing that would really piss BP off, and the way he was just calling, oh, my God, that ball. Andy would have said that ball was 3/4 out and came back, 3/4 down and came back out. Jump ball. Possession Bulldogs. Number 4 impresses me with his ability to shoot threes from various body position angles. Like sometimes he's twisted, sometimes he's straight up. Just kind of however his body is how he'll shoot it. Steven says August Mahoney sounds like the ultimate trust fund baby name. It does. It seems, based on what I think of Yale, I've not actually gone to school there. I've never known anybody who went there. In fact, it just seems on par or on brand for what would be going on at Yale, right? Since he says close out these nerds. There's Ryan Powell. We get a back shot of Ryan Powell's head in the gray jacket there on the left. He was when I knew Ryan, he was a student assistant in the SID office at Auburn. He has since ascended the ranks in the Dakotas and is now a administrator with, I believe, the Summit League. Now we got Mike Burgermaster out on the court. Spicy Pieces, how is Yale shutting down our offense? I think it's more about Auburn just getting tight and not necessarily being patient running stuff. But it's not ball pressure. It's definitely not that. That's usually what gives Auburn trouble. Oh, Denver fighting for a ball out of bounds there. Oh, man, KD is... All right, so Denver tips it. That went right off to Yale's dude's fingertip. He put his hand back up on it and tapped it. And they gave it back to Yale. They don't review those until it's under 2. There was a terrible call in the game, the Washington State game yesterday too, that was at like the 6-minute mark and they didn't review it. It's all right, man. There's a lot of those calls. It's just hard to get every single one of them right. You can't hardly do it. And we can't adjudicate everything via VAR. It just takes too long, so just move on. I think it's fair to just do it under 2 minutes. You don't want the game to hinge on a screw like that. See, there's not crazy... Oh, Trey just juked that dude. There's not crazy ball pressure right now. That was an amazing finish right there. I mean, that's really seriously good. Trey in traffic with a kind of... went underground with that bad boy. Just kind of went... It's nice. I don't understand the center. He has no agility, low balance, and he's still just going to try to juke people 22 feet from the bucket and hit a 3. I don't get that. This is the matchup that Yale wants. I thought that was well defended. That old boy can hit some shots, though, man. Number 4 is hitting a few. That was a very well defended play, in my opinion. All right, so it's 66. I didn't realize I must have missed a bucket there. My bad. 70-66 with 3:29 to go. This is a tight one now. Held on to your butts. Guys, give him credit, man. That's a tough-ass shot right there. I thought it's excellently defended. Excellently defended. Trigger, Trey. Terrence says CBM is an underrated defender. I agree. He's good. I mean, Simo's fine on the defensive end, though. I mean, you're taking a step back, but not a big one. You're taking a big step back on the attacking end, though, and in transition. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes you just, punch a guy in the chest and they get really upset. Angelique says, Toolman got to just start it and hope they show up. JGL and Danny, that is. Then let go and let God. Amen. Pocket Watch says, Ryan P. with the important front row seat and half court hearing the Skull and Bones feed telling the refs what to do. Yes, sir. I haven't hung out with Ryan since Minneapolis, since the Final Four last time. Got to spend like 2 hours with him in a bar there in Minneapolis, and it was good. He's a good people. A lot of Ryan Powell talk on this show, which is good. I mean, I like it. But everybody else is like, who the hell is that guy? I'm just saying, you got an Auburn graduate as an influential person on the press row, or not press row, but on the actual officiating row right now. I'm just saying. He's not going to do anything on a amateur or whatever. I'm just saying. When you say everybody there is against Auburn, like Ryan ain't against Auburn. Madison says, how is it not reviewed in an important game like this? So I'm just telling you the rules are in this tournament, they're not reviewing plays via VAR, those kind of plays until under 2. It's just the way it is. It's that case for everybody. So there you go. Cincy says, Pipe says, Ryan lays pipe. That's for you, Ryan Powell. Tim the Tool Man. I got Tony Danza on the line. Who's the boss? Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, we probably need to look at that second half box again. It's just it's tight as can be, man. I feel like Auburn's been better this half. Like they've been the better team, but it's still just a 4-point margin. I mean, that little dude is hit that fall away. He's hit a couple threes. Like he's been a real nuisance. He's kept him in the game. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. Chrissy said she'd like to watch him play. All right, let's go to our box score page and take a look at the second half box score as it stands. Yale 32, Auburn 29, which is about the same as far as margin as it was before. Auburn has, this is just for this half, 6 assists and 7 turnovers. Guys, again, that's not the ratio that Auburn likes when things are going well. That's not what it looks like. 6 assists on 10 buckets is not a bad that's not a bad relationship, but 7 turnovers, geez, guys. That's too much for a half. Shit, that's usually what they have for a game. And they only have 1. They're having assist problems too. Auburn's doing a really nice job on just kind of mucking them up too, but I felt like Auburn should be smoother than this. Again, Chad's out, and he's a really important part of what they do. I mean, obviously, but Janai missed the free throw. Dadgummit. All right, this is getting tight, guys. Going to have to play some good defense, possession by possession here. I like Jalen's matchup here. Oh, Janai was all over that. He knew exactly what that dude was going to do. He stole his mind. That's what Antoine Nolan would say. And then KD just loses the ball in the full court. Oh, man, he just lost the ball. And he knows it. He knows it. Yeah, I'm missing the Angels in the Outfield references, bro. That movie came out when I was in college, and so I didn't see it, and I've never really picked back up. I do know that the kid does this, like when it's time for the magic to happen, but I just not familiar enough with that one. Look at Yale and their cute Under Armour stuff. Isn't that nice? Maybe they'll be like the lead Under Armour team when Auburn leaves for Nike. Poppy Clan says this feels like New Mexico State 19 all over again. I made that reference earlier, back when it was at like 13 minutes to go. I was hoping that it would not end that way, so tight, but it looks like we're headed for one of those nut cutters. Let's get back to our main page. 68-70, guys. Again, I feel like Auburn's been playing okay. Like this feels wider margin to me, but we're not there. Trey with a dubious choice there. Wait, what are they calling? I don't understand what the call is here. They're going to say a foul on Janai for the way he got that ball? They did. He called a foul. Guys, I don't see it, man. I'm not one to get on refs, man. I'm not. You guys know that. I really, really don't. I don't say much, but this has been bad. That was a bad one right there. That was just a big boy rebound. He didn't do anything wrong. All right, moving on. They're going to have an opportunity to equalize here. Now, you could have called a foul before that, and maybe that's what they were doing. He's kind of pushing him before that. He kind of pushed him on the way in. But the actual rebound itself was not a foul. I'm sorry. It's just not. All right, we equalize 70-all. Auburn does have the ball. But that is the only advantage at this point. 2:38 to go. I love these little printed out on their home printer. Like, Yale, go Yale. Woohoo. All right. Denver, Janai, Jalen, Trey, and KD. They're trying to get Janai in there, but he's going to get double. That's going to be a goaltend right there. Oh, God. I mean, on one hand, I love games like this because there's so much drama. And you really find out a lot about who's ready and who can perform when it's nut cutting time. You know what I mean? That's really fun to me because you can't simulate that. The only way you're going to find out is a game like this. And we know Janai is that man. Janai is him. He will absolutely take the ball into pressure situations, and he will deliver more often than he won't. And he's doing it right now. But it's I know for you guys, you would much rather Auburn be up 35 and just crushing this team and laughing about how bad the Ivy League is. All right, 72-70 with 2:20 to go is what I got on my screen. Auburn's got its number ones out there with, there's a big three right there. 72-73 Yale with 2 minutes to go. You've got Denver playing three right now. Well, whatever, Denver and KD. They just can't afford to have Simo out there. Janai lost the ball. I think that's on him. I don't think that's a foul. 1:45 to go. Gus Bus thinks he believes that Janai's playing tight. I don't know, man. I mean, he might just be trying to take too much on right now, or they're asking him to take a lot on. They don't have a lot of time here. So to me, that's a hook. Oh, you got to get that rebound. KD, who you mad at? I hit you in the head. KD's not had a great 2 minutes here, guys. He had the completely unforced turnover in midcourt, and that ball hit him in the head, and he lost it. This is tight, dude. This is tight business right here. Andrew Lee says Eagle Rare o'clock. I've been drinking Eagle Rare. Auburn Dad for life. I worry that if this does go down and Auburn loses this game, that it's going to be the Chad Baker Mazar got thrown out of the game thing. We're going to be talking about that one way or another. Kind of reminds me of I watched the Beckham documentary recently, and he got kicked out of a really important game for them, for England, and they lost the game, and they still bitch about it. It's been like 20 years. But we're not there yet. Auburn's only down one. Terrence says KD's had a horrible game, period. He had a really nice bucket in the first half, that sweet reverse, and he's had a couple other plays, but lately it's not been good. The last 10 minutes. There you go, Andrew Lee. Scotty Pieces, point guard play, SMH. Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while. Like, I'm okay with Auburn's point guards, but in March, when you've got to have a bucket, it's really good to have a point guard that can do that, and Auburn just doesn't have it. That ain't Aiden. Aiden's kind of he throws gas on the fire when he's an attacking player. And Trey can do some stuff, but he's still not a primary guy. Yeah, Madison AU Chief says, how important was that ejection? I know. I agree. Neil Jones says, Beckham, getting a red card in England, losing, things you hate to hear. He's still taking gruff for that, getting thrown out of that game. For a play that to me was kind of similar to the Chad thing, where you guys don't care about soccer, I know, but it was a challenge on a guy that I just don't understand how it was a card, or it's a straight red, wasn't it? And then Chad's thing, you're like, well, it's definitely a common foul. And you could argue maybe it's a flagrant 1, but a flagrant 2 and an ejection, like I don't buy it. Jesse says the calls in this game have been awful. There've been a few that I've wondered about. Madison would let you know there was definitely a ball that went out of bounds that was given to Yale that was just verifiably not Yale's ball. It was probably at the 4-minute mark, 5-minute mark. So that was an extra possession. But I also don't feel like Auburn's done a good job defending number 4. He's been super hot today, and there really hasn't been, that I can tell, any kind of adjustment on him. He certainly hasn't had a drop in production. It kind of reminds me of that Oregon-South Carolina game where Cousinard was going off, and they never really – that's going the other way. They never really did anything about it. And the dude went for 40. Tickle the cooter and stop the flow. I like that. All right. Auburn's got the ball. 55 seconds to go. They're down 1. I don't think it's panic time. I think it's probably Janai or Jalen time. Look, guys, your season's on the line. You give the ball to the 2 guys that have carried you the whole way, which is Janai and Jalen, period. The problem is that Jalen, what are you going to run for him? Like an ISO, a back down ISO? He can. He scored on the last one they called for him. Janai's been hit or miss. Generally, when he gets the shot off, it's a hit, but he lost the ball dribbling it last time. So let's see, first of all, what they call and what if they actually run it. That's going to be a foul. Is Auburn in the bonus? So it's going to be a 1-1. That is not part of the plan for Yale. They do not want Auburn scoring the ball with the clock stopped, as Sonny would say. Bo is great, says we're the KY Jellies of Spokane, Washington. What are you doing, man? All right, they're going to review this. I'm not sure what they're going to be reviewing. Denver did go down pretty easily there. And it did look like the dude kind of dived on Denver. I didn't see what the impetus would have been for him to fall on Denver. It's not like he got leg whipped or anything. Coach Chad Pruitt over there, giving some encouraging words to Denver Jones. I still don't understand what they're reviewing here. Are they looking for like a flagrant foul of some kind here? To see if number 4 had his, if he went up high on Denver? It sure would be kind of poetic justice if they called a flagrant 1 on this shit. Nick, you're killing me, bro. I mean, you could. I think there's a way that you can kind of turn that into a flagrant 1 by the same token that you would bust Chad for it. He went up a little bit high with the elbow and definitely made contact with his head. I think he actually hit his throat, but you could argue upper body or whatever. I don't know. It'd be terrific for Auburn if that was called a flagrant, though. CJ says, kick 4 out. I am on board. Eye for an eye, brother. I think he said common foul. Madison, I'm on board. I think that was a flagrant too, but we'll see. All right, so judged to be a common foul. Denver at the line. I'm not going to tell you if he's a good or a bad free throw shooter. They're going to put the numbers up there. I didn't want to jinx him. Missed. That's a difficult miss right there. That's a painful one, man, for a guy who shoots the free throws well. Man, oh man. Hey, CJ, you got to hit the free throw, brother. You got to hit that. 87% free throw shooters got to hit it, man. period. All right, so this is their center. He's like a 70% free throw shooter, and he hit both of his last time up. So you'd think he's due for a miss. Got to box out and get that rebound. Bucket right there. It's poor little Eagle Rare. Might as well. 74 is where we're at, 74-72, and he's still got one free throw to go. 45 seconds to go. Give him credit. This dude stepped up there and hit some big free throws down the stretch. All right, so Auburn's down 3. They've got a potential for 2 possessions left. They could go 2 for 1 here. I would not advocate Janai going for a 3. I am in favor of him driving the baseline and getting in. Uh-oh. Oh, look, he's going to try to say, what did I do? Dude, what did Chad do? Shut your ass. Nobody cares. Andrew, that's the statement of the game. A sloppy game. It is. This has been a grinder. It's a shame that there's only 33 seconds left because Yale losing that number 1 guy is a big hit for them. But there's just not much time left. If this goes to overtime, though, they're going to be hating it. Now, you say to yourself, well, Janai instigated that. Well, Jaden Ledee instigated about 15 confrontations in the UAB game here in Spokane, and they didn't call hardly any of them. They called them all in UAB, which is what happened there. Kevin O says GG Auburn. All right, so Janai at the line. Neil says lots can happen in 45 seconds. Just ask my wife. You know. All right, Janai hits 1. It's the first of 2. Gets it to 73. Now, they still got a 3.6 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so the potential exists. Auburn's, well, we'll see what they do. All right, hits both free throws. 74-75. Now, again, they do have their number 1 scorer, number 4, but their instigator, truly, their catalyst is number 1, and he's out. So this is a little bit different here. Although Auburn's press really got him on that one. Auburn's full court press got them harried. They called a timeout wisely. And this game continues on. Pipes' says grinder is also Cuzzo's app. Cuz I didn't do that. Hey, wait. Why are you bringing Cuz into this? He didn't do anything wrong. Man, oh man, I would really hate to see this season go out right here, but goodness gracious. I do want to look at the turnover to assist ratio for the second half here. Auburn, for this half, has 6 assists on 11 buckets, 6 assists and 9 turnovers, which, again, that is a half. That is a half. 1 half, 9 turnovers. Auburn usually has that in a day. They had 5 turnovers in the first half. Very rarely do you see Auburn have this kind of a turnover problem in the second half of games. They'll usually get sloppy and then they tighten up. And in this game, they kind of got sloppier with the ball handling anyway. So, Auburn, again, on the last time we saw Auburn on the court, they were in a full court press and forced Yale into a timeout because they didn't have anywhere to go. Yale's now out of timeouts. So if Auburn can coax some pressure out of this now, Yale's got nowhere to go. They're going to have to throw it up. What is the call here? They're going to call a foul on Janai. Okay. Foul on Janai. This is a very difficult play. I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. I don't. Well, no. He had no. He had his hand on his back shoulder. What's up, Randall? Says Auburn wins it with a 3. Are you that far ahead in Germany, bro? No, I'm just kidding, but that'd be cool. All right, so they got 2 free throws on that foul on Janai. They hit the first one. I'd like to see them miss this one. That would be terrific, if you wouldn't mind. And I think he's going to hit it. So we'll go ahead and give him the free throw. I'm cheating. I know, actually. All right, so 77-74, 32.9 to go. Yale without its best rim protector, but that doesn't matter right now because Auburn's down 3. They're going to have to take a 3, and it's going to be Trey Donaldson who's going to miss by a pretty wide margin. Janai. Oh, God, Trey. All right, so Trey took a 3. Janai got the offensive rebound. Tried to pass it to KD. Ball got deflected to Trey. Trey got inside for a layup and missed it. And then Yale got the defensive rebound, and now they're shooting free throws. Auburn's win percentage is now at about 10% and dropping. CJ doesn't look good, my guy. It doesn't look good. I honestly think that Janai should have gone back up with that ball, but in the moment, in the moment. Neil says TV's getting smashed all over the place. Yeah. It's a tough way to go, man. It is a tough way to go. If so, but Yale's hung in there, man. You just got to wonder, like, what? Chad is there's no one to plug and play for Chad when he goes out with 5 minutes into the game for the Flagrant 2 foul. We will always be discussing the legitimacy or illegitimacy of that decision, that officiating decision on that call. I think anybody would argue that was probably not adjudicated fairly. Did it deserve a foul? Yes. Did it deserve a Flagrant 2, which I believe is the first Flagrant 2 Auburn's had all year? I don't see it. I just don't see it. But and it definitely changed the complexion. But guys, I mean, things happen. Like, what if Chad had gotten hurt? What if he turned an ankle? If he strained his hamstring? I mean, these things happen. You've got to have a plan. You got to have a way to get through it. Kind of like when Jalen went down. All right, so Yale hit 1 of 2. It's an 8-point game. Auburn's got, 12 seconds here. Oh, did they foul him? Oh, that's a mistake. All right, so it was 78-74. Then KD got the bucket, and he's at the free throw line for 1. Kind of a nice decision by KD, honestly. And it's the kind of finish we expect from him. He's really good at this. Switches hands. It's just a really nice play. They're going to argue that they didn't foul him, but KD ain't quitting. He ain't laying down. Damn, Howard. He says, let Bruce go to Kentucky. I'll send him up there after this shiz. Come on, bro. Guy's done a lot of good stuff at Auburn. All right, 9 seconds to go. I would probably try to hit that if you could. That's a jump. It's going to be Yale's ball, though, if it's a jump. Yep. Wait. It is Auburn's ball. Even though the CBS graphic says it's still Yale, but they didn't change it after the last one. Janai's, that wrist has been bothering him all day. But that's a big twist right there, guys, if that gets Auburn the ball back. Now, you got to be careful because Janai probably can't feel his left hand very well right now. He must have hit that funny bone on the ground. He's trying to shake it back. Auburn's got the ball out of bounds, and you know Auburn's really good at out-of-bounds plays. This is right up there, right in their wheelhouse. This is something they take pride in every single day of their life. Oh, Trey. They got the ball to Trey. He goes up and gets fouled, does not get a shot off, really. But he's going to go to the line to equalize. Wow. What a game. Oh, Trey missed the first one. Ouch. That's a big miss. And he's a good free throw shooter, too. He missed both. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow, Auburn had 2 offensive rebounds in that last possession. Trey missed the second on the front rim. Janai got an offensive rebound and tried to put it up while he was falling down. Jalen got the ball back. That got back out to KD somehow. KD shot a 3 and missed it. And that's a wrap. Wow. I can't believe that. But you got to give Yale credit, man. They definitely hung in there. And number 4 carried them. He's going to be getting free food in New Haven for his entire life. I wonder if Janai is hurt or if he's just broken by... Oh, no, he's grabbing his knee. Please, God, no, let him not be hurt. He's kind of stretching out in a way that makes me think he's not super hurt. Oh, guys. Jeez Louise, man. Colby's over here saying SEC overrated, and it's hard to argue, man. I mean, that's 4 SEC teams out now in the first round. Man, that's a tough one. That's a stinger. That is an absolute stinger. Albie says, who cares? It's over. Yeah, I think Janai's okay. I suspect he's just bumming, man. Which I get it, man. He's put so much into this season. He's had a great season. Third team AP All-American, and been the MVP, one of the 2 or 3 best players in the country this year from a statistical perspective. And, man. Let's see. Randall says the only team the SEC has left is Tennessee. I think there's a bunch left, aren't there? 8 teams got bids, and there's only 4 out right now, so there's a bunch left. Like A&M and who else would be? Florida still playing? Or did Florida get knocked out? I'm sorry, I didn't catch. I was watching this game. Florida was losing. So Tennessee played great, but yeah, that's not enough. Wow, how about that, man, guys? Timothy B says, I'm sick. I get it, man. Man, Locked On says life as an Auburn fan. That's tough, man. Joey R says Jabba. And Scott C says we suck again. Oh no, guys, we suck again. Let's take a look. We got to take a look at the stats, man. Got to take a look at these stats. Wow, this is just shocking. I'm still trying to process this. Janai, I thought he was going to try to get up, and then he didn't, and I don't think Janai was fouled. Boy, it sure would have been sweet if KD had hit that 3, but he was like in a weird body position. He kicked his feet. It's just not the way you would expect him to be successful there. I'm trying to get the second half box to pull up. Sorry, guys. Might be a lot of traffic on the on that particular server or whatever. I'm going to try to pull this up here as quickly as I can so we can examine what went wrong. Although I watched it with my own eyes, I got a pretty good idea what went wrong. Auburn's ball handling was just never good in this game. It was never good. Let's take a look. This is the second half box score, so this is just the second half. Yale 44, Auburn 35. If you remember, Yale in the first segment was up 10-2. Then Auburn flipped it around. And it was 13-13. And ever since then, we like the statistical markers we saw on that. But, here we are. We're at the end of the second half. 7 assists on 12 buckets, which isn't bad, but 9 turnovers, dude. And points off turnovers is 6-2, so it's not necessarily, a huge part of the game, but it slows Auburn down. When you see the points off turnover stat, yeah, that's one part of it, but it's conceding possessions, empty possessions that don't help you get back in this game or strengthen your situation. You just got to do better than that. Against Yale, Auburn should not be conceding that many turnovers. It shouldn't. That's not really Auburn. That's not Yale's game. I don't know, man. Terrence, I'm with you on that, brother. I didn't see the fuss here, but he says, Jesse, kids are getting paid now, so we need to stop calling them kids. You're so right about that. I mean, they are a hell of a lot younger than me, and I try to give them some grace, obviously, but they're essentially employees now. These are grown-ass people making some grown-ass money. Some of them make a whole hell of a lot more than I do. And so I don't really, that is an important part of it. But it doesn't really matter to what's going on right here. Cassidy P super chatting us again, which we love. He says, so this blows goats. Turnovers and free throws killed us. Yes, it did. You're right. Cassidy P, I appreciate you, brother, being here start to finish. With us today, Auburn, 7 of 13 from the line. Something that they don't do very often, but you do see it from time to time where they have a game where it's just a mess. And Trey, man, missing those two. I mean, the first one in particular, he's a 70. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he's like an 85% free throw shooter. And you expect him to give you something. And, man, he had 6 rebounds today. He had 3 assists and 1 turnover. So a lot of his secondary numbers are pretty good, but 1 of 5 from the floor there in the second half, and just not what you're looking for, man. Not what you're looking for. Not what you're looking for there. Let's see. We got a lot of action in the chat. Cleveland Brown jumping in with a super chat says it's NMSU all over again, except they lost this one, right? But it was a similar game, yeah. Very, very close. A game where it came down to like the last possession. And one fly, I don't like to say it as a chief moderator at a major Auburn site, but when you say we deserve to lose, I can't argue with that. Like, there was some stuff that went badly today, I think, against Auburn. The CBM thing, and we can litigate this. I'm going to be like Michael Jordan on that one. You can show me anything you want. There's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind that was not a flagrant 2. It was a foul, and he shouldn't be doing that. Understand it. Here, I'm going to go over on our main page here. I'm not saying it was cool. It was not cool, and he's been playing with fire in that manner for a long time, without a doubt, and it bit him, and it bit the team. Oh, I can't do that. If you're going to come in here with a handle of Crimson Tide, you got to go, bro. Sorry. This ain't your this really ain't your where you belong, I don't think. You better worry about Charleston, what I think you ought to worry about. That's just my opinion. Brian H., who is an Auburn guy through and through, who's been with us on the brain drain, particularly in the football games for years and years, says those boys flat out choked. No other way to say it. I mean, I wouldn't put it that way, but I'm not going to correct you. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you on that. Whale Driver with a super chat said, I fully understand that you can't make a habit of blaming the refs and we missed a ton of free throws. Can you request that a referee crew never officiates one of your games again? I'd burn my one. That's not going to happen. I did not recognize the dude that made that call, though. I don't know who he is. He's not a typical SEC ref. So I don't really know what to say about that. He may not cover another game for a long time. I don't know. Wow, jeez Louise, man. What an absolute kick to the gut right there. Cassidy P., who keeps super chatting, we love him. He says, Janai deserves a better send-off, tough L to take. Hey, what if I told you that there's without a doubt a possibility that Janai comes back? Because NIL is such an equalizer for players in his situation where, he's right now he's viewed as like a second-round pick, maybe an overseas guy who can have a really nice career and make some big money over there. If you're willing, let's just say in theory, okay, you're willing to offer and pay him $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 NIL deal to stay. I mean, I think he would absolutely listen. Would he take that and gamble that he could turn a second-round pick into, a contract? I don't know. I can't judge. I don't know Janai well enough, and I haven't talked to him about that kind of stuff, so I don't know. But it is within the realm of possibility that he would stay. So when you're talking about him getting sent off, it's a tough send-off. You're right. It would be. And I think there's still a very good chance that's what happens. But it is within the realm of possibility that he will be back. He can come back. CJ says, this isn't Bruce's fault. CBM was not smart. Drink about it in Orange Beach. I certainly will on April 13th down in Orange Beach. We'll be having our bunker event there. I'll be there. CJ Majors will be there as well, and so will a bunch of other cool-ass people. But we'll worry about that then. Looking forward to it, though. Cassidy P with another super chat. Guy is just absolute buoy of the show here. We certainly spit the bit once CBM left, Mojo left. Auburn was up, 12-5, I think, at that point. And I don't really understand these European League questions. I don't have an opinion about it, so I'm just going to kind of bounce on that. Nothing. No offense, bro. We're just dealing with some serious Auburn drama here. We don't need to talk about European basketball, bro. Yeah, Auburn was playing well at that point. I mean, it was very early in the game, small sample size, but yeah, we've talked a bunch, and I mean, I'll keep going over it if we want to, but there's no plug-and-play replacement for CBM. He is their wing. His backup is Simo, that we know is not great. I mean, he's a good defender, but he's not going to help you in transition. He's definitely not going to help you on the scoring end. He did hit a big three today, though. But there's no easy way to fix CBM getting hurt, and that's going to be the cloud that hangs over this game forever. I mean, when we talk about this game 20 years from now, it'll be that time that kid got kicked out for nothing. I mean, let's just be real about it. Cassidy P also super chats again, which we appreciate. Says, I recognize that guy who made the call. He's a dick. We will figure out who that was, and we will remember him and hate him. Neil J says, say what you want about the Chad Baker-Mazar call. It happened so early in the game that the other players should have been able to handle this the rest of the game, which is true, but there's not a solution, right? I mean, like, if Evan Horvath gets a red card in the Cardiff game and then they put some slapdick in the keeper spot, and he's taking shots left and right, what are you going to do? Well, you're kind of fucked. Horvath is a stud, man. I don't know what to tell you. Cassidy B continues to jump in. We love it. JGT, what high proofer do I imbibe? Wow. William LaRue Weller, Parker's double-barreled, or E.H. Taylor barrel strength. I need to go on an overnight drunk here. I would strongly suggest E.H. Taylor barrel strength because the first two I wouldn't waste on a game like this, brother. That's when Auburn wins something big. Like next year when Auburn wins some big football game. Then we drink William LaRue Weller and we drink Parker's double-barreled, which you can't get anymore. So E.H. Taylor barrel. If you got to hit that, hit it. Do what you got to do, brother. Let's see. Ravin says, thank God the drain is here. Thank God you're here, Ravin. I know you're out there watching, and I know you're a sensible, calm, level-headed person, Auburn person. You're pissed as fuck about this game, but I appreciate you being here. You're not going to say anything crazy. I know that. Let's see. Steven, who's been with us all day here today, said Auburn was bad all year long, winning close games. That is true. I mean, come on now. You got to give him credit for he's telling the truth. So once it was clear it was going to be close, I had a really bad feeling about it. It just sucks because this team had such a high ceiling. The irony, Steven, first of all, you're right. Second of all, this wouldn't even have counted as a quad 1 win or loss. It's just another quad 3 loss. which would have been their first of the year. But no, yeah. So, Whale Driver, with a little bit of good news, says Auburn's leading Arkansas 1-0 in baseball after Auburn lost last night 0-1 against top-rated Arkansas. Let's see. Chaz Music says the Pearl to UK has started. Chaz, I just don't see it, brother. Not because, BP's like impeachable or whatever. I just think it's too much money. Once you buy out, first of all, they're going to owe Calipari between $30 and $40 million just to make him go home. That's a lot of fucking money. And I know Auburn's, hey, I'm an Auburn mod. I know a lot about paying coaches off. $35 million is a hell of a lot. And then you're going to have to buy out BP. Then you're going to have to pay BP. And I don't even mean it's BP. First of all, it's not going to be BP. Second of all, whoever they go get, if they're going to fire Calipari, they got to pay. Let's say it's Mark Few. Let's just say it's Mark Few. I don't know if it is. You have to pay $8 million to get him out of his contract at Gonzaga. Then you're going to have to pay him a shitload of money to come to Kentucky. And by the time you're done, you've got a $60 to $70 million investment. And I don't know, man. Basketball is a big freaking deal in Kentucky. I know that. I'm a Kentucky graduate, but I still don't buy it. I'll believe it when I see it. And they can be as mad as they want. There's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind on this. I sound like Michael Jordan, don't I? Cassidy P jumps in again, says E.H. Taylor, it is. I'm drinking an ounce for every foul on Auburn. Jesus, Lord. Please don't do that. You're going to be dead. You're going to die. I don't want you to do that. Auburn was called for, let's see, home stats, game box. Auburn was called for 25 fouls today. Please don't. 25-19, by the way, was the final tally on fouls. Stuart, I'm with you, brother. He says Pearl is not leaving. Cal is a lock to stay at UK. The buyout is too high. Stuart, I agree completely. I know they're mad at Calipari, and I get it, man. They're pissed, and I would be really mad. Look, Auburn just lost to Yale, who's essentially the same as Oakland. I didn't know where the fuck Oakland was. I do know that Yale's in New Haven, Connecticut, but nonetheless, it's the same basic concept, and I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. CJ says, second super chat to say Cassidy P needs to save his money, LOL. Let's give him a laugh for that. I want him to save his liver, bro. As somebody who drank about that many shots at the Steel Panther concert and went into AFib for almost 48 hours, don't do it. It's not worth it. Let's see. Jesse says, I'll also say that I'm real damn tired of watching all the fouls they commit over the past 2 or 3 years. That stuff is getting pretty old. Can't go more than 1 or 2 minutes without a whistle being blown. Wow. That is true. Does seem that way sometimes, particularly in certain games. Cassidy P says, I'm a fan of CJ Majors. I am too. Let's give him an applause. Some people maybe are not fans of CJM, but I think you should. I have just received visual confirmation via text message that Cassidy P is indeed drinking the E.H. Taylor, and that is a very heavy pour that he has just shared. I will go ahead and share the photographic evidence since there is nothing about it that is would suggest who you are or what you're doing or where you're at. There it is. And I also firmly stand behind that wall art you've got there, the Roy Lichtenstein. There it is, guys, and that is, as they say, the truth. It's a very heavy pour. Let's be careful. Let's be smart about this, okay? Horace from 3, who we love and adore. He's great here, and he's great on the message board too. He says, JG, just want to say thanks to you and the times on the drain this season. Have to log off. Just too sad, Horace. I get it, man. You have been so emotionally invested in basketball. It's appreciated, and one of these days, it's going to reward you. You've just got to absorb these hits and just keep on trucking, brother. And I know you will. I know you will. But I appreciate you. You're going to be back next year, and we're going to bring it. Mobile alum jumping in. I know she's distraught over this. Since once Chad went out, we couldn't adjust. I think you're right. I didn't think you'd be right, but I think you're right. Still a great season. Hope Janai feels he has unfinished business and comes back. That would be nice. That would be terrific. If he comes back, and I think that might have some effect on some other stuff that goes on. Because Auburn's going to have to get some stuff in the portal, whether Janai stays or he doesn't stay, that might actually convince Dylan to come back. And if you had those two back, that'd be really nice. There's a lot of people out there that want to shit on Dylan, and he didn't really have a big effect in this game, but boy, he was making progress as that season went on. The second half of the season, that game against Vanderbilt, I thought he played great. The game at Vanderbilt, he played great. He's done some stuff this year. Sorry, guys. Eagle Rare. Stuart Pieces, this sucks, but thankful for the drain. Stuart, I appreciate you, brother. You've been a great part of the community, and I appreciate you. Patrick Pieces, maybe Bruce should spend less time ranting on Twitter and more time figuring out how this isn't going to happen next year. Yeah, I better let that one go. I'm just going to let that one sit, Patrick P. We'll talk about that privately. Let's see. Colby says, I know it's way too soon, but how are we looking for next year? Colby, hey, man. Hold on, I want to see this. Well, let me do it, damn. Next year. One Fly, it's hard to be. One Fly says not too confident about next season, but guys are just going to have to be at minimum at least three guys. This is if Janai comes back. They're going to be three guys added, probably four. This team's going to have a much different makeup next year. You're still going to have Denver, I think. Still going to have one of the point guards. You're still going to have Chaney. So that's a nice core right there. I don't have any reason to think you won't have CBM. Terrence, you're cracking me up, bro. That's pretty funny. Jackson jumps in with a super chat. Says, unbelievable, 100% CBM's fault. Dad flew across the country to watch his son play 3 minutes. And then Aiden is hitting the portal. This is just me talking, okay? I don't know anything. I'm just telling you what I think I see with my own eyes. If the point guard's leaving, it's going to be Trey. I think Aiden is going to stay. And I think Trey's going to go find another home. I don't know that. No one's told me that. I'm just guessing. You talk about unfinished business. Janai is the most high-profile player on this team. So when we talk about him having unfinished business, everybody's all in on that. But Aiden, he takes these losses harder than anybody on this roster. And he takes his role in the losses harder than anyone on this roster. Not to say the other guys are just cavalier about it. They're not. But I'm telling you, Aiden fucking lives and dies with these games. I'm telling you. Like, he is an emotional investment, is on a level that no one that I've ever covered at Auburn in basketball can exceed. I'm saying there's been people who have cared as much as him, but nobody more. And I think he'll stay. There's people that in this chat that would say, well, I don't even know if I want him to stay. You want him to stay. Aiden is the kind of kid you want here. Period. Let's see. KD, goodbye. Get Rutgers center and a 6'3" point guard. Interesting you would say that. Only 6'3"? How about a 6'5" point guard? How would you feel about that? Raven said in the chat, it's so crazy how the game gets called so differently once you are out of league play, and you have to have better fundamentals to play the postseason. Our defensive play was exposed today. It does seem that way. Specifically, and this was talked about with Terrence, I think it was Terrence that said, it's the fouling that it's too much. Got to learn how to defend without fouling a little bit better. We've been talking about that for a while now. Cassidy P jumps in with a super chat, says, I'd give a mortgage note to Bruce to go to Stone Cold Steve Austin on that follically. He's talking about somebody who's bald. He's less hirsute. How about that? Dylan or Janai, returns next year would be huge. Yeah, that would be huge. Particularly Janai, but both of them. I'm curious to see how that goes because I think that we're not done. Runner 24 says 6'5" point guards do not grow on trees. Well, there's one in the portal right now, one that Auburn recruited ardently. His name is Kanan Carlisle. Played at Stanford last season. 6'5", 5-star out of high school in Atlanta. And he's out there. He's available. Not saying Auburn's going to get him. I'm not even saying Auburn's talked to him. But he's gettable. Terrence, I liked your comment about the Revolutionary Cannon. That was pretty funny. was definitely on target. Neil, we can't do football jokes right now, but he did say we only lost by 1 field goal. Damn you. Damn you. The Welshman's still learning a little bit between the the football and the basketball angst. Whale Driver looks at he finds a positive twist in this. He says, Ole Miss didn't even make the tournament, and they turned down their NIT bid, and I guess that's a wrap on Al Flanagan's college career, which is kind of sad in a way, but that is the way it goes. That was a choice they made, right? Let's see. Ravin says, so Bruce will be recruiting guards on Monday? I can say without a hint of, well, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'll put it that way, that he's already recruiting guards. I posted about it on the bunker, and people flipped their shit so bad that I just had to delete the thread. Some people just can't handle it. Let's see. Mobile Lem says the only guys we absolutely lose are Jalen and Lior. I think that's right. I think those are the only guys that just couldn't come back even if they wanted to. Maybe Simo, but I can't remember. The years get away from me, girl. I don't remember. Let me take a look. I can look at it real quick. Simo. Henry logged me out again. No, Simo does have another year if he wants it. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think those are the only two that absolutely have to go. But, I mean, there's going to be more. Cassidy P jumps in again. Hey, guys, he's not that drunk yet. He says, y'all need to remember Aiden is a freshman. Bruce and Ira both believe in him long term. I completely agree with that. Portal PG to support him and our incoming combo guard, and let's go. Yeah, remember, Tahad is not a point. Tahad is a combo. He's really kind of a 2 and a 1 body. Reminds me of Tony Delk. Played at UK maybe 20 years ago. Is it longer than that? Please, God, it's not longer than that. Is it? It's 30 years ago, isn't it? Fuck. I'm getting old, guys. He's a shooting guard and a point guard body. But he's a player. He's a player. He is like a very good version of Chris Denson, who I thought was really underrated at Auburn. A guy who can drive to the hole, finish at the rim. He's a menace in transition. Left-handed. I love him. He's going to be a terrific player for the Auburn Tigers. Also, CDF jumps in with a super chat coming long range from us. CDF has been super supportive of us during the basketball season for sure. I mean, shit, he's always on the show. Says, woof, took that L in from a Vegas. Wait, hold on. Took that L. He was in Vegas. I got it. It hurt. CDF, of course, true diehard Auburn fan here from Lower Alabama, who has been he's in a different part of the country now due to work, but still loves his Auburn Tigers. And yeah, I know he's hurting, man. Appreciate the support tonight and every night, brother. You always do. Always show up for that kind of stuff. Show up for us here and for me privately too. Cassidy Pieces Mo has a player coach option a la Jackie Moo. He could be a good little Coach Wayne played for the football team. Wayne Gandy, I think it was Wayne Gandy. No, Steve Gandy. Steve Gandy, my bad. Wayne Gandy did play at Auburn, but that's the wrong one. Sam H, who's always here with us one way or another. We love Sam H. He's one of our channel legends and a pillar of the community. Says the season is still a success even with this shitty performance. Got to hit the portal for a shooting guard and replace Janai with a true 5. I don't know about that. I don't know. March is weird. Boy, I think they would take Broom back in a heartbeat, brother. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like a 7-footer who can do all the blocking and all the shit that Walker did. Mobile alum notes that Florida lost 102-100. Oh, fuck. Colorado played in the play-in game too. That's a stinger right there. Mobile alum also had a super chat coming through. It says, after looking at the play, they got CBM ejected. I agree with JG. It was BS. Same outcome if Chad had been really out because of injury. Disappointed because I really thought our depth would carry us. JG, what are our chances with AJD? I don't know how to say his last name, and I'm not even going to try because I think I screwed up every time. AJD. I think Auburn's chances with his visit maybe 2 weeks ago went from 2% to about 25%, and perhaps is higher than that. He's the number 1 player in the class. of 2025. He is a wing. He's a dynamic player, and he does not want to play for a blue blood, is what I am told. So he may see promise in what Auburn does. If he had a chance to go to practice, which he did, and see the esprit de corps that BP fosters pretty much every year, I think he would agree that this is a great place to go. Also, AJ, for reasons I don't understand and don't really care, was able to procure Jabari's number very easily and had a long conversation with Jabari about playing at Auburn, playing for Bruce, what the culture is like at Auburn from somebody who played there and who's no longer affiliated officially with the program. Knowing Jabari like I do, I suspect that conversation steered toward how BP's an absolute stud. So we'll see what happens right there. Cassidy Pieces, give Janai whatever he'd like. Great for everyone. Great for him for sure. It could happen. I think there's a number. I don't know how big that number is, but there's a number. I promise you. I'm going to pour some Eagle Rare, guys. It's one of those nights. I was ready to, you guys are ready to watch a lot of games of Auburn over the next 10 days, and I was too. Ravin jumps in, says thanks for the super chat, sir. He's been in the chat all day long, wire to wire, as is customary for him. The only guy we had today that could have shot threes with that Yale kid was Denver. How was an inbound play to get Denver a shot not drawn up? So on those inbounds, man, they got options. Now, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know what happened, but getting the ball to Trey, at 3 feet away from the hole, that's a win. That's a strategic win, and he got stuffed, and that's fine, but he had an opportunity to tie the game, and he's probably the second guy I would rather have at the line. I mean, Denver's the first guy I'd want at the line, but Trey's a good free throw shooter too, typically. Kind of frustrating. Watika wants to know, why is Connecticut so rich? I don't know what that means. Do you mean the state or do you mean the team? Todd there on the chat, you can see that, says, Jay, I feel so bad for these young men. They were great all season, and they were great today. It's just our defense wasn't good enough toward the end, and we missed our shots and free throws. I hope Janai comes back. I think that's a feeling that we can all get behind, Todd. They're good kids. It's a good team with good chemistry, but ultimately, I think it was, I can't remember who said this earlier, but someone said they don't trust this team in close games because Auburn, you look at their schedule there. I mean, they won 27 games this season, and 26 of them were by double digits. And their first single-digit win was against Mississippi State in the SEC tournament. So close games are not something that Auburn likes to do, and it's not something that Auburn's good at. And today we saw them kind of, in my opinion, mismanage it a little bit. Terrence, by the way, mentioned something in here. I'm going to put this up. Living in New York. I didn't know you were in New York, brother. That's cool. I've witnessed and participated in more contact on the subway than the amount of contact that resulted in CBM's ejection. Again, there's no way you can ever convince me that was anything more than a flagrant one. And even then, it's kind of like, I don't know. To me, it's a common foul. Just my opinion. They're going to say, well, you're an Auburn mod. Yeah, well, whatever. Cass DP says, I think this is his 8th super chat. I'm into the bonus now on E.H. Taylor. Clap. Hey, you. I got you, bro. I've got you. Let's see. Locked On says, to be fair, we don't trust Auburn in general in close games, not just basketball. That's right, football. We were surprised. We were shocked when Auburn won the close game at Cal. There is a video evidence on the internet of, because I was doing a show when that play went down, when Peyton somehow threw a ball to Rivaldo Fairweather that resulted in a late touchdown that put Auburn ahead and ultimately was the difference in the game. And I said, oh, he caught the fucking ball, didn't he? Oh, my God. Knuman, who often is the one to do this, but comes back with a very profound statement. He says, got to thank Jalen for his career. Hate that he had to go out that way. Jalen Williams played in won more games as an Auburn Tiger than anyone ever. Surely the most successful player I've ever covered at Auburn basketball-wise, maybe ever. I don't know. maybe including football. Cam Newton's hard to beat, but you know what I mean. Won a lot of games, played in a hell of a lot of games, scored a lot of points, never got in trouble, always a good dude to talk to. Just everything you're looking for, man, from Nahunta, Georgia. I hope that makes Georgia pissed off. CJ jumps in with another super chat. Says Cassidy P is drinking too heavily to super chat. Petition to take his permission away. Cassidy P is just fine, bro. He's doing okay. He's a seasoned drinker. 176,000 people and only 30 likes. Come on, y'all. It's sad. Cassidy P. We don't need more on that. CJ, he'll be all right, brother. He is great though, and we'll have a chance. Hopefully, you have a chance to talk to him. No, you're not going to the Atlanta one. He's going to be up at the Atlanta one. You're going to be at the OBA one. Anthony asks, JG, do you think we got to get better guards? Probably, yeah. Yes, I do. But that's not a shot at Denver. I don't think Denver's a problem. I like Denver. I thought Denver, halfway through the season, I was kind of like, I don't know. But, like, he played better in the second half of the season, and I like his defense. I think he got better defensively. And I think for him, it's just a confidence thing. Same thing with Aiden. But he was performing at a higher level than Aiden was on the scoring end for sure. So let's keep Denver, and then let's negotiate. I think you should keep Aiden. I don't know that Aiden's a number one right now. How about this? How about you keep Denver, you keep Aiden, you play Tahad as a combo next year, and you go out and you get you a big-ass, badass point guard to be your number one point. And then Tahad kind of learns behind him and plays some at 2, and you just kind of go that way. And Aiden plays some too. You can still get 15 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game for Aiden, and just get a big-ass 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" point guard. And let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens with a 6'5" point guard who can create his own shot or hit a 3 or, be a better matchup defensively. I'm on board. It's a good question, Anthony, and I'm glad to answer it. Yo Boy says, will you do baseball brain drains? No. I mean, if they got to like the first of all, no. Like those will be like 5-hour shows. If they got the College World Series, I would definitely consider it. We've got our first caller of the day. It's going to be MW Dave, a man who's called in and provided sensible takes the entire year. What's up, brother?
Sorry.
I was like, uh-oh, he's going to be crazy tonight.
No, it's going to be a little bit of a lukewarm take because I'm still kind of hot about it, but it's also like something I've thought about for a long time.
Yeah.
First off, I'm sure he feels terrible. I hate to crap on the kid, but very selfish situation by Chad Baker-Mazara that as close as that game played out, I never want to put it on one kid, but probably cost you the game. It seemed the look on Bruce's face said that clearly was going to take us out of our game plan. But it's a broader theme. I love Bruce. Nobody take this the wrong way. You take the good with the bad. And some of the bad side of Bruce is also some of the good side. I mean, it works both ways, but he's never going to have teams that are extremely disciplined, that are able to overcome adversity easily. It's just not his personality and the DNA of the teams. And this was the perfect storm in that scenario for us. I mean, we had the talent. We should have won this game. We should have overcome their hot shooter. But, something went way wrong right at the beginning, and we never fully recovered.
Yeah, do you think CBM, him being out of the lineup, made that big of a difference? Like, you think they win this by 10 if he plays?
I kind of think so. I mean, I think being thin with Jalen still probably not 100%, looking a little tender here and there. I think it put us to be a team that was as deep as we were all season. It suddenly took that advantage away from us in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, because there's no plug and play guy for him, is there? There's nobody you can just slide in there and go, oh, he'll do what Chad does. There is nobody.
No, there's depth there's depth across the line on the team, but they're all a little different, right? It's not like there's a one-off substitution. And When I saw it when it happened, is it ticky tack? They called it a 2 instead of a 1. Yeah, but it's like the announcer said, you're putting yourself at the ref's discretion at that point.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, that's a choice a kid makes to do something like what he did. And was it retaliatory? Yeah, but it's always the second guy who gets caught. I mean, that's the way it works. But, and it just, like I said, the broader theme is just discipline and focus aren't. There's other teams that have that don't have some of the abilities we have, but that's never going to be a strong suit with a Bruce team.
Do you think when we look back on this team 10 years from now, you think it'll be about how there was that foul against? I'm sorry, the flagrant 2 in the Yale game, and they lost, and that's what we're going to remember?
No, the unfortunate part is we're not going to remember this.
Okay.
When you lose in the first round, it's just, oh yeah, we didn't make it part of that year. I mean, it'll sting for a year or two, but beyond there, in that last game with the tournament championship, everybody was talking about, is this team better than the 2019 team? And I said, well, we haven't done anything in the tournament yet. Let's see what happens. Is anybody going to make that claim now?
No.
I mean, you get defined by what you do in the NCAA tournament, and this team lost in the first round to Yale.
Yeah. That's a stinger. Right there,
it's sad. It's unfortunate. They're still going to have a banner and they're going to get rings for winning the SEC tournament, but it's not going to be remembered the way that 85 tournament team was. It's not going to be remembered the way the 2019 SEC tournament champions were.
Yeah. If anything, it'll be a cautionary tale, won't it?
Yeah. I don't want to be down too much. We're not where Kentucky is. I mean, that's for sure. But
yeah,
it's frustrating. They definitely have the talent and the potential to win it all, but there's probably 30 to 40 teams that believe that going into the tournament. If not, well, all 64 of the teams themselves believe it, but even slightly objective, impartial observers say that team could do it. And at the end of the day, there's only one. And some of those great teams lose in the first round.
Yeah. That's kind of the bummer of it, man. Well, fuck it. There's always football, MWD.
Don't do that to me.
I know. Still need a quarterback.
So, yeah. How you feeling about that right now? You still think there's going to end up being another guy on the roster?
Yes. No one's told me that, but I look at it and I see what's going on, and if they're going to win big, they need another quarterback. Or they need
why wouldn't you bring that guy in before spring after we went through last year?
Because they couldn't get him. I think Cam Ward was the guy they wanted to get, and they couldn't get him, or they didn't get him.
And so now you're back to picking guys who are left over after spring practice like we were last year.
Or somebody who just happens to be, at the same school. Yeah.
Sort of fall into your lap kind of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a fall into your lap kind of thing. But even then, bro, it's you don't have a full spring with this person. I mean, you're asking a hell of a lot of him, You
can do a lot in the summer with quarterbacks and receivers, but you're still behind.
Yeah.
I mean, in essentially what we saw last year, we were behind the whole season. The first 3-4 games were essentially where most teams should have been going into fall camp, not 2 months later.
Yeah. I mean, it hurt Peyton last year, but I think they may end up having to do it again.
Things about Cam Coleman sound good, though.
Yeah, he looks good. He's good. And Robert Lewis adds a lot, too. So they've got some good – they've upgraded at wideout big time. So whoever comes in or whoever it is, they're going to have a better array to work with. But, I mean, there's still a chance it could be Peyton. I mean, even if they bring somebody else in. So, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to back on basketball. I don't want to say I won't remember this team. I'm going to remember Janai Broom. I'm going to remember Jalen Williams. I mean, Jalen Williams he's just going to be one of my favorite all-time guys. Love seeing him grow and develop and play, but ultimately it's just you are defined unfortunately you're defined by what you do in March. And it's like somebody texted me right before the game, a friend did, and said, hey, maybe we can continue this momentum. And I'm like, what momentum? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we won the SEC tournament. I mean, that feels like 10 years ago, and it was last week.
Yeah.
And that's just the way tournament play works. You get those long breaks and you play multiple games, 2 games in 3 days, or in the case of the tournament, 3 games in 3 days. And then you have a break, and it's like, what you did last week doesn't matter anymore. Until you get to that last round, and we didn't get there this year. So,
not this time. Well, you've been a great caller all year long, as usual. So, we'll see you, I guess, football season. and we'll do it again.
We're due for one of those years where everybody surprises us, so let's just find the quarterback that's going to do it.
Yeah, Auburn is known for that, right? When you think they're going to be great, they end up sucking. When you think they're going to suck, they end up being great sometimes. I mean, that's been true.
Except there's a long streak of years where I expected us to suck and we sucked. So
in basketball?
No, football.
Oh, yeah. Well, why you got to be such a downer, bro?
I put it on my tagline on the bunker in dark mode since the 2016 Clemson game, and that's been about right for me. So.
Oh, I didn't know that was a metaphorical statement. I thought that was actually you were in actual dark mode.
No, it's metaphorical.
Okay.
I made it. Somebody had a thread talking about how do you do dark mode, and I said I've been in dark mode since the 2016 Clemson game.
So. It's a better joke now than it was when I saw it. That's great.
Yeah. All right, man. Take care.
All right, man. See you, brother. Bye.
Where you go? Bye.
There he is, MWD. We love having him on the line. The quality of this call, 5 stars, absolutely. We love having him. Always a very rational guy. And, even in this time of let's burn the boats, he's speaking rational. I like that about him. Super chat came through again from Cassidy P. I know CJ's upset about this. He thinks Cassidy P needs to stop. It says Bruce's challenge may be finding players who are multiple on offense and don't sacrifice on D. We progressed in that regard this year, portal especially. Yeah, it is tough to find those two-way guys. They get snapped up very quickly in the portal. But Auburn, I feel like, had a good portal season last year, and they may have a very good one coming up here too. They're certainly working quickly. I watched how quickly they worked recently, and they don't sit on their laurels or anything like that. Mega Tiger jumps in with a super chat. We love Mega Tiger. Oh, hold on. I got one more. Cassidy B says, MWD, have any chance Cam Coleman plays the 4 next year? He has the athleticism to play stretch 4, honestly. I just don't know if he has the skills to do it. Mega Tiger jumps in. We love Mega Tiger. Also, by the way, Auburn's leading Arkansas in baseball, too. Mega Tiger says, hey, guys, first-time poster, long-time listener. I don't think that's true. Just wanted to drop in and say that CBM is a douchebag. I'll hang up and listen. Whoa, we're going to give him one of these.
Splash.
There's a hot take. CBM's not a douchebag. Made a bad decision today. Although I think he was punished unfairly, unnecessarily harshly. But he likes to get under people's skin. Similar to KD. KD does it a lot with his mouth. He does it all with his mouth, really. And CBM's been known to get into some physical scraps. And, it hurt him. It hurt him today. I don't know how much it hurt him. I think it's disrespectful to say that, hey, Auburn would have slammed Yale with CBM. They went out there and they won that game today. So, I don't want to do that. But not having CBM really hurts. There's no doubt about it. But he's not a douchebag. I know him. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. He is mischievous. As a mischievous person now, I was going to say a formerly mischievous kid, but I am currently mischievous. I'm not a bad guy. I do say things and do things sometimes that are not great. I don't always make the best decisions. Administrative assistant would agree with that, but I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he made a bad decision tonight. Not even a particularly bad one, though. It was bad, but it wasn't like hellaciously bad. It turns out it just looks a lot worse because they kick him out of the freaking game. Taylor Barrel Proof is an endangered species around here. We do have a picture from the scene of the crime here. This is where Cassidy P decided he's going to drink his heartache away by drinking this E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. For those of you who don't know bourbon real well, this is a very difficult bottle to come by. So the fact that he's pounding this to put away his sorrows is it's kind of a flex, and it's also like respect, you know what I mean? Because I think it's going to get him where he wants to go. One man's opinion. Dialuke says most definitely would have won with CBM. You're probably right, but I still want to say that. MWD, who just got off the horn, says, I forgot to mention we deserved our makeup call when the Yale guy buried our player like an all-pro left tackle in a pass block drill And the broadcast crew was all in agreement it was a common foul. You're talking about, it was about 3 minutes to go. It was on Denver. Denver had absolutely beat him. The dude was coming forward. Denver was going by him. He put up his arm, just like slow him down. It was probably a flagrant one based on the way they adjudicated the CBM situation. And they go common foul. I mean, whatever. It's all gray areas, right? It's all gray areas. Cassidy P. again says, if we drop nuts against Mississippi State, I'd say today was a tuck job, sadly. I hope that my daughter, Annie Tate, is watching this because she loves the tuck jokes. She'll say, you tucking? She loves those jokes. Canoeman, who would know, says CBM is an awesome dude. He made a horrible call and a time to learn a tough life lesson that cost him dearly today. That's exactly how I see it, too. It's exactly how I see it. Exactly how I see it. He's a fun-loving kid who's mischievous, and he likes to taunt people, and today got the best of him. He went a little too far, and the referee, or the official, I should say, judged that as a flagrant 2 and kicked him out. I mean, you open the door for somebody to go through the door and fuck you up, period. And I don't think it's a flagrant 2. I think that's ridiculous, but, Eric East says, did we win? Almost, man. Only 2 points short. Well, I'm sorry, 3 points short. 2 would have tied it. Kevin O says college basketball is a shit show. Kind of is, man. I do think, I've said this a bunch tonight, and the more I say it, the more I think I'm not being honest with you guys. I generally don't shit on refs. Look over here at all these games that Auburn's played this year, and how many times have I bitched about refs? Not many times. Moby Alum asks, when does the basketball transfer portal open? It is already open, girl, and Auburn is already talking to people, girl. I promise. I actually made a thread about this on Friday, listing the players that Auburn had spoken with already, and it didn't go well. So I ended up deleting it because it just turned into a bitch session about how Auburn wasn't recruiting centers because I hadn't listed a center on there. These people aren't aware of the fact that Auburn's trying to keep Janai and that Janai may be back next year. Well, if Janai and Dylan come back next year, then why the fuck would you need a center? But they know everything already, and you can't even tell. I'm on it right now. I got to try to find him, though, girl. Let me see if I can find him. Yeah, we'll handle that. Thanks for letting me know. Girl. I'll just say girl. You know who you are when I say that. I don't want to say your name. But a transfer portal's open, and they've already spoken with a number of players. Terrence says, have they spoken to Porter from Pepperdine yet? I have not heard that name, no. They have spoken with the point guard from Belmont. They have spoken with the wing from Detroit Mercy, who's from Birmingham, and they've also spoken with Kane Carlisle from Stanford. 6'5". He was a 5-star in the 2023 class, I think, and ended up going to Stanford. He plays with Kwame Evans Jr. They kind of got to know each other, wanted to play together. They went to Stanford, and it didn't really turn out that great, although they both played pretty well, and the team kind of sucked. And, well, that's how it goes sometimes. MWD says Dylan has a 19th year of eligibility. I think his freshman year was affected by COVID. I'm almost positive. Now I'll go back and take a look, but I'm pretty damn sure he could come back if he wanted to. Now, I'm not saying he's going to, and I'm also not saying he should. But Dylan's freshman season was 2020/2021. He is eligible for a COVID year if he wants it. So we'll see what's going on. Justin C says Wesley Yates. Now I gotta look this name up, bro. Now you gotta tell me where he's at. So a lot of times I don't know the kids by name. I know where they're from. You're dealing with an old man here, so give me a minute. It looks that it appears that Wesley Yates is at Washington. The first question I will ask you is he in the portal? The second question I'll ask you is, what position does he play? I have not heard that name, but that doesn't necessarily mean it hadn't happened. I'll just put it that way. Michael A. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this. He says, when this team needed a leader, everyone was looking at each other. So, Janai was trying to lead from the front today. Janai was leading from the front today. He said, give me the ball and I'll make a fucking play. So, I don't think it came through the way that his team needed him to necessarily from a statistical perspective, but he was leading. Whether or not he was leading verbally, I don't know, because I wasn't in the dugout, I was going to say, in the team group, in the huddle. But he was out there and he was like, give me the ball. There was no, his nuts were dropped. He was playing. He was being a man about it, and he definitely was balling up. And he was taking on the responsibility of, I'm going to make a play here. Now, he didn't actually make a play at the end, but he made a lot of plays in this game, and he's made a lot of plays this season. So, yeah, I think that he did that. I think that he stood up. I think he stood tall. Now, is he the rah-rah leader that says, come on, guys, let's get this shit done? Like, not really. But that's a difficult that's a trait we don't necessarily see all the time. Andrew, I know you sent me a super chat. It's right here. It says, can we talk apparel deal? Nike, Adios UA. That is 100% what's going to happen. Nike, Auburn will be a Nike school in short order, relatively short order. Now, the Under Armour deal runs through the 2025 season. So, the 2024-25 season. So, 16 months from now? Something like that. It's the end of June. Yeah, so 16 months. It's still got 16 months on it. So, or 15 months, whatever. They can buy that out, I guess. They could come to some kind of an agreement, but we'll see. But it's going to be Auburn's going to be a Nike school. I can essentially guarantee that to you. Thank you for the question on that, brah. Kuduman mentioned in the chat earlier, CBM's dad flew in and was a huge deal for him. He got to see him for less than 3 minutes. He let himself, his team, and what should have been an amazing moment for him, let himself down. That is a bitter pill. I do think it's going to really give Chad something to kind of rally around. You know what I mean? This is me at my lowest moment, right? After a really fine season, honestly. I was skeptical. He was a good sixth man at San Diego State. He went to junior college there at Okaloosa-Walton. Had a really good year, but I was like, does that translate to the SEC? Came in here. It translated. He was a really good player for Auburn, key player for Auburn, probably the third best player on the team. And that's good because they had Jalen's probably the greatest. Charles Barkley's the greatest. But I'm talking about the way that he played at Auburn. Jalen he put up numbers that are bigger than what Barkley did. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a better pro. I'm not saying that. But Jalen is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Auburn college players. Auburn basketball college players. No doubt about it. Janai, Jalen, CBM. For me. And then the end is a very bitter pill, like you said. I think he can rally around this. I do too. Mega Tiger says CBM got played like a fiddle. Some folks in the chat thought the same thing, Mega. They thought that the scouting report was, do something to kind of get this kid to retaliate against you. They knew he was incapable of handling any kind of aggression against him. The dude that got him kicked smirked when it happened. I think you're right, Mega. But that doesn't change the fact that he's got to be a little bit better, right? He's got to not get in that situation. Cassidy P with his 11th super chat of the night. We love it. We scored 78. Offense was not the problem. Our D was unable to adjust, and that is an issue on multiple fronts, as were the TOs. Yeah. I would agree with that. 76 points typically is enough to win a game for Auburn. However, the turnovers were a problem. 9 turnovers in the second half, 5 in the first, so that's 14 total, which is a little bit more than normal for Auburn. Not a lot of assists. And Rebounding wasn't a huge advantage as it should have been, and they didn't guard number 4. And I thought they did it just kind of an okay, if not maybe a notch below that against the center, number 1. But they let number 4 beat them tonight. Number 4 was the reason that they lost this game. He played a great game. He shot 2s. He shot 3s. He was able to shoot with unusual body contortions and all kinds of shit. And they got to find a way to slow him down, and they didn't do it. That's a big part of it, too. Glennis jumping in with some in the chat. We love Glennis being here. His season ended like it started. A meltdown in the final 6 minutes of a close game. Really interesting point there, bro. You're true. You're right. The very first game against Baylor in Sioux Falls was a game that was very close. Of course, Baylor's probably a little bit better than Yale, but nonetheless, your point is a good one. Auburn mismanaged, in our opinion, the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes of that game and lost it. And sure enough, that's kind of what went down tonight. In between was one of the better seasons in school history. Hurts, but War Eagle. Anyway, that's a fair take. Appreciate you guys. Good stuff there. Yeah, definitely one of the best seasons Auburn's had in basketball for sure. Mobile alum jumps in again. Our coaches should have expected teams to exploit CBM's aggressiveness. They should have prepared him for that. I can assure you that BP has had conversations with him about that. Him and BP have a really good rapport. I think most coaches that have worked with CBM have not necessarily had that rapport. With BP, he can kind of work with guys like that because, and I've asked him about this, his answer is that I'm kind of a renegade myself, and so I understand renegades. I can speak with them. I can think like them. I get along well with them. They're my people, you know. And I was going to write about this the other day, and I didn't, but I probably should have. When I was at practice, right before they left for the trip, Chad came late because he was doing something for school, and when he came in, the look of pure joy for Chad when he came in and BP kind of gave him a hug at midcourt, you know, when he kind of came to practice, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, brother?" And that's what BP said to him, and you know, Chad gave him a hug, and you could just tell there's like genuine affection between those two guys, like they just get it. Yeah. And then he gets kicked out of the game. I don't understand this joke. I got a text from Canoeman. He says, "This is for Terrence. He's draining on the road for work. I'm draining on the road for work duties." I get it. He just showed a picture of a Toyota steering wheel. There's probably a joke there, but I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm on the air, so I don't necessarily catch everything. Daniel M. Disagrees, maybe with me. I don't know. Disagree. Defense was fine. Unconscious shots by Yale. Some of those, that is actually kind of true. Missed layups, missed free throws, and turnovers would have won this game. Defense was fine. I mean, giving up 78 is still a lot, brother. That's unusual for Auburn to give up 78 to a team that's not necessarily a great scoring team. But I can see your point. I can see your point on that. There were a lot of points left on the court. And I don't necessarily know that there were a lot of points left on the court for Yale. But there were for Auburn. Charlie, MW says, "I don't think Dylan gets a COVID year because they had a full basketball season. It may depend on whether basketball counts as a fall sport or a winter sport." I feel like I got corrected on this recently, and that Dylan does have a year left if he wants it. I don't know that he wants to go through it again, you know. It's a lot of work, a lot of time for somebody that, you know, has his own life that he's got to go live. But I don't think it's fair to say that somebody that enrolled at Auburn in May of 2020 was not affected by COVID. He absolutely was. They all were. It wasn't just him. My daughter went to school at University of South Alabama in August of 2020, and I'm telling you right now, her shit was completely fucked up. Completely. Her life during the 2020-2021 academic year was nothing like it is now. Nothing in common. One man's opinion. Dialuk thinks it's going to be Trey and Pettiford at point guard next year. I disagree, but we will see. You could be right. I don't know anything for sure on that. Cass TP jumps in with his 12th super chat. Motion to petition added year for Cardwell, KD, J. Will, Leor, and Simo. Can we claim Legionnaires next year? Legionnaires disease. Oh, my God. I haven't even thought about that in 10 years, bro. Watch me get it. Yeah. See, Cassidy P kind of riffing on what Daniel and I were talking about. Got to think Crocky Poo will be mad at our defensive efficiency, but surprised at our offensive efficiency. Interesting. I could have been adding some context to his Toyota joke. I have not texted you since early in the game and not currently in a Toyota. Was my phone hacked? I'm missing this, bro. I don't know what the problem. I don't know what I'm missing, but I know that I'm missing something. Maybe it's like if I swing at a major league fastball and I don't even know it's there and I miss it. Do I even miss it? Or did I just swing? I don't know. Kaduman says Dylan has a COVID year for sure. I feel like that's what's going on. I feel like Dylan has the opportunity to come back. I'm pretty sure that's true. Now, I'm not saying he is coming back. I'm just saying I think he has the option to. The only people that don't have the option to are Leor and J. Will. They got to go. But the other guys have the choice. And, I mean, if they choose to leave, that ain't because they don't love Auburn. They got a life to live, you know. Whale Driver keeping us updated on the baseball game against the hated Arkansas Razorbacks. Auburn still leading 3-2 with one out. I don't know what inning they're in, though. Well, I don't know yet. Well, guys, what have we seen tonight? We saw an Auburn team that had a great regular season, a very good regular season, I should say, and had a really nice surge into the postseason, won 3 in a row in Nashville. Came into the NCAA tournament with high hopes and lost an important player just a few minutes in and never quite got settled in. Ball handling was questionable. Rebounding was not as good as it should have been. And dropped a close one to the Yale Bulldogs, a game that we will talk about for years, I'm sure. People will say, man, this game sucked, but man, it wasn't as bad as the Yale game. Somebody said earlier today, earlier in this chat, I should say, that the Miami game stings more than this one. And that is actually something that I think I would agree with, because I'm aghast that Auburn lost this game, and I was aghast that Auburn lost the Miami game. And I actually thought Auburn would win this game. I was more certain about this team winning this game than I was about the Miami game. However, I thought that with Walker and Jabari, Auburn was like, they had 2 Jedi Masters right there, like Obi-Wan and fucking Anakin in his prime. And I was like, these dudes ain't going to lose. Like they might lose to some really good team, but they ain't losing to Miami. And I was blown away, gobsmacked when they lost that game. I am gobsmacked by this one, but this team, we all kind of knew there was a way they could lose games, right? We all knew that they don't necessarily play their best when it's a close game. They tend to lose close games, and when this game was obviously going to be a close one, you could look at it and say, I don't know, this doesn't really match up well for them. Super chat coming through from Cassidy P again. I believe this is 13th. He said, I have enough Taylor to float the Irish Navy now. Wow, that's a lot. And CJ jumps in to say, JG, that was me with the Prius, not Kanuma. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry. That's why he said about the hack thing. I'm sorry. I got it now. Kanuman, I'm sorry, brother. I got mixed up there. That's on me. Andrew Lee, I think he's on board. Thank you for clearing that up, CJ. And wow, this is a callback from a long time ago. Cassidy P says Yale is the new Fred Talley to me. Fred Talley, of course, the Arkansas tailback that ran ragged over the Auburn Tigers inside Jordan-Hare Stadium in maybe 2000 and I don't know what year that was. 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, somewhere in that range. Yeah, and Reggie Fish had a big game in that one too. It happens sometimes. I think Andrew Lee's on board with me here with the Miami. The Miami loss stung me more personally. This is I did not see this coming. I had Auburn going to the Final Four. My wife had them winning the national title. So, I mean, I'm surprised. It's not like I was taking Yale, but I just remember sitting around after the Miami loss, after I did the show and all that, and just thinking, God dang, I can't believe this team. This team with the best defensive player in the country, with Jabari, who wasn't maybe as good as I thought he would be statistically in college, but who was still damn good and had really good players around them. Didn't do more, you know? And this team, I don't know. This just seems like kind of a fluky one. I don't know. Yale deserves this one. I'm not trying to say that. I don't know. It's tough. Maybe we're just splitting hairs. I don't know. Oh, you sent me something else. Let me see. Oh yeah, I saw that, bro. I can't handle all that like when I'm on the air, you know. But I'll holler at you about that on the bunker later. Or, you know, maybe it might be tomorrow. Terrence said Wendell Green. I forgot that Wendell Green was part of that, too. One Fly says facts, JG. I appreciate you, Fly. Yeah, Canoeman, my bad, bro. I don't know how I got that mixed up. I've just been on the air a long time, and I've been drinking, and it's so stressful. It's so stressful. I don't know. Might need to wrap it up there. I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll probably wrap it up there. Guys, we've done our due diligence here. We get any last shots here? Any last shots in the chat or anything like that? Daniel D, what's up, brother? He's got my Dave Mustaine picture there. Auburn football has to do good. Yeah, it's going to be sad not to see you guys, though. We've been doing the drain like pretty much every week since September. And I'm not doing it for softball because they're kind of ass. And I'm not doing it for baseball because those games go on for 5 hours. So I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we should just do like shows during the weekend or the week or something. I don't know. I do a bourbon show with my wife on Thursday nights, which might be good for us. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know what to do. I'm just going to kind of think about it for a little while. Terrence says, hey, JG, are you a licensed mental health provider so I can get reimbursed for my Blue Cross Blue Shield? This is my advice.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I wish, bro. I do have a degree in psychology, so. Darkside says, take a sip, JG. Darkside, you are such a bad influence. You always show up for this. And you always go, take a shot. You and Hornatius. But I will do it. Whale Driver, good question. He says, would Chad have ended up guarding their guy who went off? Probably to some degree he would have. I would think it would be more of a Denver thing, but yeah, CBM would have been on him some. But the bottom line is he shot a few over Denver when I thought the defense was good. He shot one incredibly difficult shot over Dillon when the defense was good. And Simo's a pretty good defender. I give him like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 on defense. The other stuff he's not great at, but defensively he gives you a lot of effort and he's pretty good. So, Jackson, my bad, bro. I'm coming back. Bro. Oh, my God. Let me get Jackson's first, War Eagle. There it is, brother. I'm sorry. Jackson, I apologize, brother. He says, why would Janai actually come back? Why do you think he leaves and stays, portal targets? Also, what am I supposed to do now and wait for football? I'm depressed, bro. I'm kind of feeling it right now, too. It's kind of hitting me that we may not do a drain for a little while. Okay, so the reason Janai would actually come back is, first of all, he can make a lot of money now. So, 5 years ago, he's gone, no doubt about it. Wish him well. Wish him nothing but the best, and that's a wrap. Now, with NIL, you can pay him. The potential exists, okay? To pay him as much to pay him more than he would earn as a professional player who's not in the NBA with a guaranteed contract. So if you're going to pay him $600,000, $700,000, it's probably a little late, CJ. I got to bounce, bro. It's getting to be that time. If they're going to pay him $600,000 or $700,000, that might be enough earnings for him to just play here and basically be an employee at Auburn. If we're being real about it. Because that's more than he would make in the G League. And I don't think he would get a guaranteed NBA deal. I just don't think he's not a first-round pick. So that's why I think he might come back. It might just make sense financially for him to do that. And as far as what you do to wait for football, bro, I'm in the same boat, man. It's a tough one. War Eagle 0008, who's been with us all year. We love him. Says, thanks for the season, JGT. Portal time, War Damn Eagle. Hey, this is for you, bro. Thanks for being here with us. You've been with us all football season, all the time. You're always supportive, and I appreciate you, bro. You both here and at the website, too. Thank you very much. Also, Casa DP with his 15th super chat, I believe. JGT, be where your feet are, my man. All we can do. That's great advice. Kanuman lives that way, too. My seat don't dictate my service, and I try very, very hard. I don't always succeed, but I try hard to be where my feet are. All right. So, this is a tough one for me, man, because I feel like we're not going to talk for a while. It's kind of weird being on this side of the computer and talking to you guys. I feel like you guys are family. Kanuman, Pocket. I mean, there's so many. Casa DP, who I'm going to see and meet for the first time in person in a couple weeks. And CJ, been playing basketball with him for years. Chris, Ravin. Terrence, you've been awesome today in particular, and you've been with us a long time. Hayden, War Eagle 0008. I just feel like you guys are family, and all you guys who are here on the drain with me. That's that choose to spend time here and participate in the chat, and I wish that Terrence, if it would be, I'll make love to you like you want me to. No, not really. It reminds me of that skit on Drewski when he does the Houston auditions, when he goes, what the fuck is this, Boys to Men? He goes, man, we have passionate. Man, shut the fuck up now. You better watch your waist you better watch your hands on that waist, Playboy. I love Drewski, by the way. Yeah, you guys are like family to me, and I'm going to miss you guys when we're not doing the drains. We're going to have to figure something out. So CJ Majors ain't done nothing wrong, believe me. He ain't done nothing wrong. He's done everything right. Let's see. Cass DP says, let's plan a rando drain a la the COVID ones. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe like once a month we'll just do like a COVID drain. Maybe we'll even call it a COVID drain. Now people get all mad about it. We'll just call it like something else, like a rando drain, or just like we'll come up with a name. Cassidy P will come up with this. He'll make it work. Him and Mrs. Cassidy P will figure some shit out. And we'll come up with a name. We'll just do like a random. We'll just talk about girls and fucking liquor and Auburn and whatever else comes up. But I'm going to miss you guys a lot. I look forward to the shows. And when I had the AFib and I wasn't able to do the show, I missed you guys, and I don't know, it just kind of sucked. But Don jumping in with a super chat here late, too. Don is coming to us live from Maastricht, Holland. I know every time when I look at our international viewership and I see that one dot in Southern Holland, I know it's you, Don. Thanks for being here, brother. T-Roy Tiger, who I always have the opportunity to hang out with, the Troy Drawdown every August there at Troy University inside the basketball arena. He says, thanks for the drains this B-ball season. God, yeah. JD, it is appreciated, bro. I love you too, man. Stuart P jumps in. Stuart, I didn't give you credit. You said something really bright earlier, and I attributed it to somebody else. I'm sorry about that. Much love, JGT. Thanks for the drain. Make something happen soon. All right. Cassidy P, you got to stop, bro. Divock drain. I think you went over my head on that one. I think you did. Anyway, I'll wrap it up, guys. It sure has been a pleasure this season. I'm sorry that it ended this way, that it got kind of ugly and gross, this loss to Yale. But we will be talking before too long. And thanks again for hanging out with us and all that kind of stuff. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Let's make great decisions, particularly tonight, but moving forward. And I'll miss you guys. We'll be doing the bourbon blends on Thursdays, always. The Dirty Dozens will be there, I'm sure. But if you guys want to hang, my wife and I do a show on Thursday nights on a different channel. It's called The Bourbon Blend. Look it up if you want to. Terrence, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I'm a terrible fill-in for the guys. Anyway, guys, appreciate y'all. Peace, love. See you guys before too long.